WTF Forum is a decentralized broadcast network with no governing body of any kind and is produced and distributed by a loosely affiliated, ever-growing network of rogue, independent content creators. This forum does not, will not, and shall not have any one location, RSS feed, platform, or channel, but shall be shared and multiplied as nature dictates.
Welcome to the WTF Forum. The hosts do not give financial, legal, medical, or any kind of advice. Opinions are their own. This broadcast contains foul language and dangerous ideas. If you need a trigger warning, you are in the wrong place. Now enjoy the show.
What the fuck is up, y'all?
Hey.
We got a brand new What the Fuck Forum theme song dropping on your head tonight. And
That's
I
hot,
think it
man.
sounds pretty good. Yeah. How do we feel? How do we feel, everybody?
I feel seduced personally.
Personally seduced in the
Hello.
most personal way possible. Am I right?
It's quite intimate, isn't it, really?
Yeah. You know, that's been a work in progress. I would say 2 whole months at a minimum of collaborative work from no less than 4 individuals to produce that new song. And personally, I like it. I really, really like it.
It's super cool. Makes you want to take some mushrooms and just kind of watch
Say what
the.
the fuck? Yeah.
Right.
What the fuck? Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it's a good little groove from Phyto there. I mean, that's it's definitely the bed, the foundation of it all.
Well, you know, I
So-
think Stella, I think you should tell us all about it here in a sec. But as usual, we should go around the circle and make our introductions. I will start. I am Mike the Polymath, Easy Peasy Podcast, and I will pass it over to my good friend Stella.
Hey, Stella Q here from Union of the Unknowns and various other stray podcasts that will have me every now and then. And here with my mate Ashley and my other mates. You're all my mates. happy about that.
Ando, Burn Babylon Burn, and the Doom Kitchen. And hey, Brad Binkley, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Had a blast last time I was on with you guys a few months back, and I'm looking forward to it. And I host the Propaganda Report podcast. Ashley. Go
Wow.
This way.
Thank you. Hey, it's Ashley from the Union of the Unknowns here with my buddy Stella Q. The rest of my friends, happy to be here as usual, bringing the Christmas cheer. You may have noticed because of my
Love
hat.
the hat.
Yeah, it's a Christmas hat. So that's it. And I love the song very much. Stella, Fido, Bear Snare. It was really, really good. Drizzle.
Excellent.
What's up, Ash? I feel like I just talked to you yesterday. It's weird.
Yeah, it hasn't been long, has it?
No, it hasn't. About 24 hours or so. I am the Drizzle, host of GTW Liberty Radio, proprietor of manufacturingreality.org, and humble t-shirt merchant. And I'm very grateful to be hanging out with all of you tonight, especially you, Brad, because this is my first chance to meet you. So what up?
What up?
And I really want to hear more about what Stella has to tell us about this new intro song that was, as I said, hot.
If I may first, before we dive
Please.
into that discussion, I just got to say I love the way that you say I am the Drizzle,
Yeah.
as if there
I
is
like that.
no question
Well,
in
there
the
shouldn't
matter.
be. Yeah,
There is
yeah.
no
I'm glad you
question.
picked up on that because that's
I-
why I say it that way.
I am the Drizzle. I
Yeah,
fucking
pay
love it.
attention
man.
to
Understood.
where I put
Yeah.
the emphasis.
And my other thought that I had during this introduction segment. Brad, glad to have you back, man. It was so fun last time, and I'm sure this will be fun again. I was listening though to what some here refer to as the pod mother, Monica Perez, and it was cool actually. Nothing to do with necessarily anything she said or Propaganda Report related, except that I was listening to her most recent show on y'all's stream, and she was reading comments from our good friend, Gentleman Skeptic, who has been coming on to our comments recently as well.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Like, I'm just seeing, the network coming together as usual. It's kind of cool.
Gentleman Skeptic.
Yeah. We've been saying that we need to bring in some listeners into the forum, and I think he or she, I don't know, might be at the top of the list because they always provide really cool comments.
Totally. I was on a show earlier, Stella, that brought up, and Ashley brought up y'all's show, Union of the Unknowns, and she was a guest. It was Forest Mommy, and she's talking about how funny you guys are and how cool you guys are. And
she was a lot of fun. She was really cool, and I appreciated her coming on because, as you know, she was busy because she was campaigning, which was what your whole episode was about, was running, as a libertarian in the local politics scene and stuff like that. But yeah, she was a lot of fun, and I do get a kick out of her Twitter and her antics.
Yeah, definitely very funny.
Yeah, she has a lot to uncover.
Well, Stella, do you want to kind of inform us on how this here new song came together?
The theme.
Yeah.
It was very organic, I'm very happy to say. It was sort of just, I don't know, I think you just kind of said, it wouldn't be bad to get something new going on. It was just sort of a side comment, and Phyto responded. She posted up a couple of different tracks, a couple of quite different feels, and this particular one caught my ears. Thought it was pretty cool, and so yeah, I just sort of mucked around. I've been wanting to do that anyway because I've sort of got a slightly newer setup, and I've got newer versions of. I just use Audacity; it's the easiest. And I've just upgraded a few things, so it was good to have a project, to check everything out. And I just went wild because it was fun, and nobody was telling me what to do, so it was like I can just do anything. And tried not to marry myself too much to the perfection, which was a challenge because normally it's like, I've got to do, a perfect take, 12 takes, 23 takes later, Yeah. So this one I didn't allow any more than 3 takes, I think was the most, but generally 2. I was like, okay, let's go on with that.
I feel like I was the devil on your shoulder being like, it's good enough. Come on. Let it out. Come on, let's go.
Devil on your shoulder. Well, okay, that's one. I sort of felt like you were the little boy tugging on my pants going, can you hurry up? I was like, no. Just wait. Be patient.
Totally.
But anyway, so yeah, I just sort of did my bit, and that was fun because the I don't know how to say this, not in a racist manner.
Just say it. Just say it.
I love that setup.
The dark gentleman that sounds like he's well-rounded. That's me. So that was fun mucking around with some of the effects and stuff. Been meaning to do that.
For real, I thought that had to be Bear. And even thinking that was Bear, I'm like, he must have modulated his voice because there's some serious Kool-Aid Man vibes.
There is.
Going, oh yeah.
That was a little bit of a tip of the hat to Yellow.
I was thinking, man, that guy's got a huge dick when I heard it.
Yeah.
Well, good, because that's what I was trying to portray. The large, well-fed, huge dick black man. So I'm glad that came across. No pun intended. So anyway, I did my bits, and then I was sort of happy. Yeah, it was when you and Bear and I did that Ghost Ship show, and we were talking later, and I said I was having a little bit of trouble with this particular bit with the mastering, because, I'm not a masterer. My ex was the master guy. So he used to master everything. So now I have to master stuff. And I was having a little bit of trouble, and Bear said, pass it on to me. That's what I do. It's like, beautiful. So passed it on to him, and we went back and forward, I don't know, probably 5-6 times. Made a few little adjustments here and there. And then you did your bit, and Bob's your uncle. Here we are.
And Bob's your uncle, which is a uniquely Australian turn of phrase. I have to say that's a new one for me.
Oh, I think it might be British too, because there's a series of books that I've read that was the characters are Brits, and they said Bob's your uncle. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Can you translate for those of us that haven't the first idea?
She's sweet, mate.
I think it means easy peasy, doesn't it?
Yep, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. There we go.
And Bob's your uncle, huh?
Yep, Bob's your uncle.
It's gonna be weird for people whose uncle is Bob.
That's right, yeah. Or auntie, even these days.
I don't know. I think Mike needs to change the name of his podcast personally. I like Bob's Your Uncle better.
I don't know.
It's a great name,
know.
Isn't it, actually? Yeah.
I don't know if it has
That's
the
a good
mass
one.
appeal. Bob's your uncle, man.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'll take it. I'll definitely do something with it.
Be my guest. I'm gonna
Let's
stick
do something
with,
together.
I'm gonna stick
How
with
about
easy peasy.
when Mike and Stella get together, they do a show called Bob's Your Uncle.
Could
Yeah,
work.
we should do an Aussie versus America situation comedy. Because it would be, even if it wasn't.
Oh yeah, those are a lot of fun.
So anyway, back to the song. Just fight out to Shouto. Shout out to Fido, because she comes up with lots of things and just goes, oh, there you go. And it's like, that's bloody great. Thanks. And she's been extremely, extremely busy. She's in a very busy period of her life as she's ending up doing her current occupation. So hopefully we'll get a bit more Fido next year. But yeah, good one.
It was funny because I started this group chat between you, Stella, me, Bear Snare, and Fido as all the contributors, as far as I know. And I wanted to make sure everybody was happy with the final product. And in the last week, we have heard nothing from Fido, which I assume means thumbs up.
Yeah, she did say. I mean, we did have a little bit of a chat. I don't know, maybe a week or so ago, because I did go back and forth with her a couple of times, and she put her opinion in with my vocals also originally, because I had them way back in the mix. They were just going to be part of the mix sort of thing. And she said, "Oh no, bring them forward." It's like, oh, okay. So anyway, she's had quite a bit of input at the very beginning bit. So yeah, it's been good. But yeah, she's just busy, busy at the moment. Priorities. But she did her bit, and she's happy. She trusts us. She said that. Yeah, whatever you guys reckon. So yeah, glad that you guys like it. It's awesome.
I admire people with musical talent because I have none other than being able to do a little bit of the Ice Ice Baby dance. I have nothing else.
Ditto.
Same. It feels like a disadvantage, honestly, especially with this group. I'm like, why am I musically retarded?
No, hang on a minute. You guys are important because we'd be nowhere without you. So think of it that way. We need listeners.
Oh.
Well, if a tree fell in the forest and nobody heard it, would it make a sound, right? Music is nothing without the listener, Ashley. So don't sweat it. I'm right there with you. It's like I made friends with a lot of rock climbers, and personally, I'm not one for climbing tall, vertical sheer faces of rock, but I will hang out on the ground and I will belay and I will, I will assist. But it's I'm grateful. I'm friends with musicians. I got to go to a lot of cool parties with people that played in bands, and never once did I have to be talented like them. I just had to be cool. So,
Totally.
Yeah,
and I'm always telling them, I'm as important to this process as you guys are, as your listener. No, I love musicians, and I agree with you on rock climbing. I'm only climbing a giant mountain if the only food available is on the other side. That's the only time.
Amen. Amen.
Well, I'd just like to say that, groupies have their place. They're just as important. So thank you, Brad.
Yes.
Well, if we're ready, I think we could jump into our first topic. I guess I will introduce this topic, and I think it has to do with what we've been discussing here. I feel like I grew up being told you got to go find yourself, right? Find yourself. Figure out who you are. When in fact, I think that's bad advice, because you get to invent yourself in this world. You get to create yourself. You can be anything you want to be, right? And I think there's no better exemplification of this idea than Florida Man. What do you guys think? I mean, Florida Man. What do y'all feel about Florida Man?
Yeah, I think you're on to something already, Mike. Yeah, because just piggybacking on the conversation that you guys had on the forum last week, talking about language and the use of language and communication in the process of the creation of reality and all of that sort of thing. When I hear go find yourself, I hear go look outside of yourself for what defines you. So It's a really, really easy way to send somebody down a path that's not going to be very, very fruitful.
I completely agree. It's kind of looking outside yourself instead of looking at what you have and maximizing that with the outside world. Yeah, and it's kind of just canned advice that often people, have you found yourself or are you still looking? Might have. But for Florida Man,
I didn't even know I was lost.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to go to India for that, don't you?
To find yourself. That's where everybody, all of ourselves are in India.
Have you been to India?
Florida,
no. Well, you definitely haven't found yourself.
Florida Man has been on many a vision quest, I would assume.
I like reading The Smoking Gun, which is almost always about a Florida man or woman who, for instance, one guy got pulled over recently and he had hidden his gun in his ass. And the police officer asked him if he was hiding something in his ass because he was squinching his legs together as he was patting him down. Tipping the officer off that something might be in his ass. And he said,
"Excuse me, sir. You look slightly uncomfortable. Is there something up your ass?"
The police
You're
report
holding something in,
hilarious.
son.
Right. The police report is like, yeah, the officer suspected something might be in his rectum. Still, when he kept fidgeting with his seatbelt in the back seat and asking if he could shift his handcuffs around, until finally the gun was discovered when he got to the police station and they checked his ass.
Wow. Well, don't forget the very first story, or at least the first story that I remember about the now infamous new drug about 10 years ago, bath salts. That originated from Florida.
Yes.
So there's all kinds of vision questing going on in Florida.
Yeah. So also something that might be hidden in a prison wallet, Ando. The bath salts, if you don't want to get those. So I just thought that when I saw that story, I'm like, the guy was hiding it in his ass, but he also had drugs on him, and I'm like,
that could go awfully wrong, couldn't it?
Look.
You could fart and shoot somebody,
blow the top of his head off.
Yeah. The possibilities are endless, but I think it goes without saying that Florida Man usually is hiding something up his ass.
Yeah, or publicly masturbating. It's always one of the two.
You'll have to fill me in because I'm not really familiar with Florida Man.
Okay. I was wondering, as our resident Aussie, Drew notwithstanding, we have, no, besmirching of our friend Drew Misson, but Stella, you have not heard
as
much.
A non-American. Yes.
Yeah. You have not heard much of Florida Man because this is a well-known phenomenon in the United States of America.
This is not
Florida
the tattooed
man.
guy.
Well, we're gonna get
He
there.
probably is.
That is one great example of a Florida man. But
I
Florida
would
man,
imagine Florida man is mainly an American phenomenon. Probably
Yeah.
not something that the rest of the world sees a whole lot of.
Okay, so how long has he been a phenomenon? Is this very new, or is this like years old?
Since
been
the
years.
internet came around,
Yeah.
pretty
Years,
much.
Yeah.
Sure.
it's been a while.
He's always been there, I think.
So it's not just one guy. Is it a character that
It's a
several people
meme.
fit
Just
Yeah.
we now
Okay.
learned about Florida man.
stereotype sort of?
Well,
okay.
so long story short, like the craziest news headlines tend to start with Florida man fill in the blank.
Now, if I may interject, though, I will say that I believe that part of that is because of the way that Florida allows reporting of.
No.
Am I ahead of you there?
Yes. No.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to hit on before I played the next clip. So you're
Okay.
right on track. Yeah, it's a matter of legality. They actually have more open records
Right.
for the news, for the media, for
So
journalists.
you hear more of the crazy stuff, but yeah, Stella, it's
Yes.
a meme, an idea. If you say Florida man, it means a crazy motherfucker. He done been wilding out. He did something crazy, like hide a gun in his asshole in an exchange with a cop. It's always something like that.
Gnawing
um,
on someone's face.
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
I got
also
it.
wanted to chime in on the find yourself, because I do feel like that's part of the psyop that we talked about, like the cultural or social engineering.
Mhm.
Because people back in the day, when you grew up on a farm or a homestead and you had a family, people didn't go find themselves, or like what Stella was saying, eat, pray, love. Yes, queen, go find yourself in India. Okay, pray it away. Like it wasn't like that, you know? So
Mm.
I think that's part of the psyop, that you should find yourself.
I would
per-
definitely agree, and I think that the whole finding yourself that's a lifelong journey that never finishes. You take it, you're still learning before you get to before you get to your grave, you know. So it's a very much. What did you say, Binkley? I think it was a canned response. Yeah,
It's
that
just a
was
canned
very well
response,
put.
me. I think it's kind
Exactly
of attached
right.
to what used to be the education model, where it's like you graduate, you go to college,
Programming.
and you check off all these boxes, and then you get a degree for finding yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
programming.
Yeah.
And people make
you-
a career out of helping people find themselves. So
Right, yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's an
And
industry.
I think if you look at some of the layers, though, that it goes with separating people from their family, from their homestead, from their culture, because you strike out and go find yourself, meaning you can't find yourself on the family farm. You can't find yourself with your high school sweetheart, right? And I
Yeah,
think
family
that
ties,
so it's a way to chip away at the family unit, I think.
And
Well-
it's
well,
interesting.
And another angle to look at it, because I was just sitting here thinking about it, listening to all of these wonderful thoughts about the concept of finding yourself, and I was thinking it implies an endpoint, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
that you can get to a point where you're done and you don't have to do anymore. You're done growing as a person. You found yourself.
Well,
You're done.
Complete.
I would say
Right.
beyond that, it implies that you don't already have or know, or
Right.
you are not already yourself. Like
Right,
this
yeah.
is so
Did it-
my fundamental
insult.
question. It's an insult.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself or do you invent yourself? I'm going to provide an example of someone who has invented themselves in a way. But before I want to just for Stella's sake, if no one else's, I want to illustrate what Florida man, the breadth and depth of Florida man, what it really entails. Okay. I'm only going to play. I skipped ahead. This is like 4.5 minutes in, but let me just play like 30 seconds and you'll get an
Yeah,
idea
just
of
need
what
the
Florida
gist.
man is. Yeah.
Carrying Florida man claims to be agent of God. Florida man throws pizza slice at his mom during argument. Florida man fights off coyote with coffee cup. I smashed him.
Came at my legs first. I smashed him in the side
Florida man arrested with cocaine stuffed Lunchable. Florida man throws toilet through school board building window in Illinois is arrested sitting on another. Florida man arrested for allegedly throwing cookie at girlfriend. Arrested Florida couple pleasure each other in back of cop car. Florida man sprayed other inmates with urine. Florida House Speaker apologizes for referring to pregnant women as host bodies in interview on abortion. Jesus. Florida man sentenced to 10 days for dragging shark behind boat. You guys remember we had an interview with that shark. Florida man rescues grandma floating away on ice throne. Florida men fight over Tupac Shakur. One ends up in jail, the other in the hospital. A smoke cloud in the area leads Florida man to ask cop, "Did you find all my pot?" Florida man actually tried to board a flight to Orlando with a fake grenade. Yeah, I remember that one. He tried to bring a fake RPG onto a flight. Central Florida man broke into home and fell asleep on couch while high on meth. Florida man arrested for punching photo bombing beachgoer before wedding. Florida man accused of intentionally pressure washing his neighbor. Florida man in Spider-Man mask steals bottles from liquor store. Well, damned if he didn't. Florida man hit pregnant girlfriend with bag of tortilla chips over baby's paternity. Florida man finds bright green iguana in toilet and calls 911. Florida man breaks in a store, flips off security camera. Florida man accused of throwing pancake batter at woman arrested. Florida man accused of exposing himself to Sammy's exotic dancer. Wait, you're not supposed to do that? Florida man attacked by a crazy squirrel gone nuts. It was raised by a neighbor. Video.
Okay, I wanted to make it to the squirrel part because you know how I feel about squirrels. But
Got the idea.
Did you guys, I say one more thing about that. Did
Yeah.
you guys see the GTA 6 trailer? Grand
we're
Theft
getting
Auto?
there, Brad.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
so, dude. You guys, you can always read my mind. You can always read my mind. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the preeminent Florida man. There's no doubt. I mean, the Florida Joker. We're gonna get there.
All right.
He's almost sort of like the American Bogan in a way, I guess.
What's that mean?
Okay, you're not familiar with Bogan. Ashley, you know what a Bogan is, don't you? Yeah.
I can explain
Yeah.
Oh, okay, go.
it.
I'd love to hear your
It's-
version.
It's like a redneck, but they're more metal than redneck. But they're just white trash that that like metal and smoking weed and getting into trouble. Just kind of hickey kind of people.
Yeah, Florida man.
Pretty much. Yeah, usually, got a mullet, that kind of thing. Ugg boots.
Camaro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, panel van. Stuff like that. Always a beer for breakfast.
So you do know Florida man then, Stella?
Okay, well, yeah. Yep, very familiar with Florida man. It's just more out west in Sydney, man. Mm. Tassie, man. Hats off to Tassie people.
Oh
Love
my
you.
God.
Okay. Yeah, maybe not quite.
I honestly didn't know what order I should share
That's
these
scary.
clips. Yeah.
Why would you? No,
He's
is
kind
that
of like
real?
king of the Florida men, really.
Just like, can you imagine the day when he gets that tattoo? He's like, I got a tattoo. Everybody's like, oh, great.
Hi, Mom.
Oh my God. Okay. So the funny thing is, I'm proposing. I formally submit to the forum. Florida Joker, based or bogus? Okay. I formally submit to the council.
You got to give us samples first.
Can I see this guy?
Yeah. Well, okay. I didn't
Looks like
intend
he's
on-
got a gun in his ass.
He might.
Something in his maybe it's a squirrel.
All right. This was not what I thought I'd share first, but I have a handful of clips. We're just going to throw them out as we go. But, don't write this guy. Just because he looks crazy doesn't mean he is.
He could be brilliant.
I think they're throwing shit fake as fuck. North Korea or the Russians motherfucking sent a chemical in the sky and shit. But I think it's fake because I ain't catch that shit yet. And I barely washed my hands. Why not? Because I'm a hood nigga. You fucking these hoes wrong and shit.
Doggy, these hoes, bro. I came out to a bag. Like, it's Treyway in no way. Like, Treyway, these nuts. All right, so we're doing this.
You're mad, I'm back. Big mad, he's mad, she's mad, big fat. Your bestie is a big sucker, a big double.
I don't want shit to do it with make me a baby mama. I don't give a fuck from my baby mama, because my baby mama's a scallywagger dagger. Man, fuck you, my nigga. We running shit, bro. He started the corona.
He started the corona.
I'm sorry. That was like literally not the one I thought I would start with, but
yeah, that would have been good to build up to that.
Hey, man, that was a good one to lead off with, I think.
This is Florida Man, okay?
Thank God the journalist was wearing a mask.
Yeah, probably was. You know, normally I would like make fun of you for wearing a mask, but you know, there's circumstances, you know.
I want to see one of those guys, but he has like a British accent and he has the best vocabulary you've ever heard in your life. And he's just super charming, but he looks exactly like those Joker looking guys.
Yes, I can picture it, Brad, because Terry has Terry Canary of the Unknowns podcast. He has a way to describe that, and that is his posh accent. So there's all these dialectics, but well, I'm not going to do it, but it's the posh accent that, yes, I'm with you. It would be
my baby's mama is the deep sheets nigga sheet. Whatever. Those guys get away with saying the N-word, I wonder, because they have the face. I don't.
Hey, I think he's like part Peruvian or something. So like,
oh, no, is he from Earth? I mean, I don't know. Did he just arrive here and inside a little meteor or something? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Faces only mothers could love, and that's questionable.
Listen, I'm like, look how you want, but pronounce your fucking words, man. That's when I have a real problem. I could understand the second guy better because I picked up on scallywagger dagger.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed that.
Don't kill grandma.
That's his penis, I'm assuming.
No, his baby mama is a scallywagger dagger.
Oh.
Yes, Brad, get it right, okay?
Yeah. This dude will tell you anything you want to know about himself. That's what I've discovered. There's actually there's a whole lot of material to go off of when it comes to deciphering who the Florida Joker really is.
He's not a private individual.
No, actually he's very open to all. Let me give you some more here.
Lawrence Sullivan, now known as the Florida Joker, was arrested for a probation violation. And today, he spoke with News Channel 8's Jamel Lene about his arrest and his appearance. Jamel joins us live from outside the Pinellas County Jail, where Sullivan is waiting to be sent back to South Florida. I can only imagine this conversation.
I can say that it was interesting, to say the least. Again, this is the mugshot we're talking about here. He tells me that there's a lot behind his tattoo, and he says that he doesn't mind his mugshot being out there because he wants to be known as the Florida Joker. Lawrence Sullivan opened up about his life, his arrest, and his Joker face tattoo behind the walls of Pinellas County Jail today.
You got a lot of hate and a lot of love. It comes with both.
He was arrested for violating his probation for carrying a concealed firearm in Miami.
For missing 3 classes of my psych doctor, which is an outpatient.
A sword, stitches, and smoky eyes. He says he's emulating Heath Ledger's Joker. We asked why.
He's just a freaking savage. It all started with a teardrop in the crowd.
For the death of a friend. After other tragedies, the tattoo evolved, and he says so did his personality.
The old Lawrence, he was too much caring and nice, and he got taken advantage of. So now I'm the Joker. Like, I'm still nice and stuff, but if you cross me, it's going to be the last thing you want to do.
Now he wants the fame.
I wanted to refer me as the Florida Joker. I'm trying to be a tattoo model as a Joker's image.
Because he wants to be in movies, and he's not done with his look just yet.
I'm going to add more. I'm going to add blood around my neck. Like my neck got cut and blood dripping everywhere.
He claims underneath the mask, he's not a bad person.
I'm not here to be in trouble.
All right.
So his real name is Lawrence Sullivan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
2 first
Very
names.
interesting.
What does he dress up as on Halloween? Just like a normal guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should ask his therapist if he has one. If he doesn't, he probably needs one.
He did say something about his psych, and I thought, yeah, there's at least one. But whoa.
Yeah, unfortunately, that last video, humanized him a little bit more for me. Not unfortunately, but I want to joke around.
It's confusing.
I don't want to be thinking about like, God, what kind of trauma did this guy suffer for you to feel the need to cover
Actually,
your entire face?
That's a really good question, Ashley.
But I just wanted to joke around, but then he goes in jail and he talks about his doctor and he's not all bad and all this shit and makes me feel bad for him. And like just picturing this little boy that God only knows what happened to him. And that's fucking sad.
His ex-girlfriend attacked him with a machete, for one.
Okay, so Ando wants her number.
It's bad out there, isn't it, Ando?
I'm guessing she was Florida woman.
Yeah. Yeah,
if they don't attack you with a machete, they don't love you.
Yeah, look, I'm with you, Ashley. Every time I see someone you can see the extremes, and it's like I just always have that question in the back of my mind. It's like, wow, what happened to you? Like, why? Why are you doing this? Why is it that you have to do this? Why do you feel the need? So it's always interesting. Everyone's got their thing, their story.
I bet whoever took him to see Batman really feels bad.
Regrets that. Oops.
Don't regret that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, don't take him to Shrek. Whatever you do.
Well, I mean, no, he's personifying Batman. Or I'm sorry,
the Joker.
The Joker, yeah.
And actually, would want to do that, especially with Heath Ledger met such an awful end.
He fucking hates Batman. Actually, he has a rap all about it.
Really interesting.
Yeah. I hate to say it. It might take a minute
to have that rap, Michael.
Okay, all right. We're gonna jump ahead. Okay, hold on.
He's committed. I mean,
yeah. Here, I got you. Give me. Oh, I got to sign in to confirm my age.
That's fine. We need all the exhibits laid out in front of us to make a judgment here.
Yeah. Hang on.
Okay, I know a lot of y'all listen to Media Monarchy as well, and he had a segment on there a couple weeks ago about a guy who is also obsessed with the Joker and has like this massive Batman Joker collection, but he grew up loving Robin, and his brother played Batman, and then he met the actor that played Robin, and he was a huge douche, and then Joker kills Robin in the comic book, and he became obsessed with the Joker and has like one of the coolest Joker collections. I'll dig it up so that we can cross-reference here.
Dig it up.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Heath Ledger's performance in that movie has had that kind of effect on people.
Yeah,
that's how visceral a performance it was.
It's great, yeah.
Dude, totally. And
yeah,
also, I was just gonna say this song is called "Fuck." FYI.
Okay.
That's perfect for us. Then.
I love this guy.
Right.
I love this guy too,
might
man.
Be offended by the F word, you should probably tune out of the "What the fuck" forum.
Yeah.
Yes. It may not be the one
It's literally in our name. Come on.
Should go without saying. But let me just give you like a minute of this.
Head hoe. Fuck that red hair hoe. Fuck that red hair hoe. Fuck that red hair hoe. Scale it out. You try to burn that car down, but really your pussy's burning down. That shit is burning down like a fucking car tire, hoe. Your pussy shot out. Shit hella stink like that fishy fish from the fucking ocean, ho. You ain't nothing but a bar face dick sucking hoe, sucking dick for bars, selling that pussy at a back page to pay your car, you little motherfucking chicken head hoe. You ain't shit but a trick. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Bitter Tainted Lover by any chance?
I know.
Well, I stayed with it that long if it was that bad.
Definitely needs therapy.
Well, the funny
Poor
thing
lad,
is,
he's suffering PTSD.
This is not his best music, but he actually has some good songs. I'm sorry, he does.
Well, I was just gonna ask if Drizzle was going to be putting this and actually adding another episode of New Music Wednesday because of this uncovered
I don't know when
gem.
did this come out. Did that track come out within the last week? I mean, because those are the rules. You're muted, by the way, Mike.
Oh.
But those are the rules for the potluck. Is like it has to have been within the last week, pretty much. I mean, some stuff will keep longer than a week. You know, when you pull it out of the fridge, you smell it first just to make sure. And
Sure,
you
it
might
doesn't smell
just
like
want to
fish.
go ahead and eat
Yeah.
that first,
Yeah, avoid the fish
just
smell.
to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if not, then maybe I can request it for the Saturday night freak out dance party.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You could have tattooed face music. Plenty of options to choose from.
Yeah, we could do like a special
Tom-
highlight segment.
Yeah, Tom,
like
what's his name?
every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern. Tattooed face music.
Yeah.
For
Love it.
like
Yep.
10 minutes.
You know,
Tattoo face off.
I thought that was the one where he said "fuck Batman," but I guess I'm wrong.
No, he was talking about fucking something different in that one,
Yeah,
Mike.
no, that was the pussy version.
Fish.
Oh, fish. Yes, pussy fish.
I'm not
Very
saying
large
he's
fish.
the best
Catfish.
rapper, you know, but
He's a better rapper than like I can't rap like that, but I will say
No.
this: I no longer feel like I'm the worst white dancer that exists because I think his dance moves.
I
can
know.
Just,
Bill Gates is much worse than you.
yes, Bill Gates is off. Trump is pretty bad, also.
Oh, he aces Gates. And Tom, what's his name? McDonald. He's probably a shill too, but I don't mind some of his music.
Yeah.
No
I
matter
think
how,
that guy listens to
how
Taylor
engineered it is. Beg your pardon?
Do you think that guy listens to Taylor Swift at all? This guy,
This guy.
the Florida man.
Definitely.
Not sure.
He's like, haters gonna hate. Bitch, you smell like pussy. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should
I don't
get
know.
together
Has
with
he
Taylor.
exhibited any memory problems recently? I know that's a common theme among Swifties.
Yeah, it's the
What's the memory
satanic ritual.
problems? Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they go to the show, they get hypnotized for their MK Ultra programming, and then they're at the end of the show, they're forced to compartmentalize that memory and forget it.
Yeah.
And they spent $5,000 on the ticket.
Yeah.
And she's
crazy.
sucking their
so
soul
they paid
out
to have
in
it
a
done. Yeah, it's a
in a
medical
massive
procedure, I believe.
ritual. And Jen talked about the way they use lights and lasers and things like that to accomplish some like occultic, esoteric magic shit. So so she's using all that stuff. And yeah, she's just a huge soul vampire.
Yeah.
Mm.
Time person of the year.
Again.
And that's how you can help to identify the enemy class. If Time is calling them person of the year, you should look the other way.
Yeah, true enough.
Wait, who won it? Who won it last year? Was it Zelensky?
Yeah, I think it was.
Was
Okay.
Pretty sure. I'm gonna double
All
check
right.
that now.
So I guess it's like whatever we're supposed to be sacrificing, or whoever we're supposed to be sacrificing our attention to the most that year. That's
Yeah.
person of the year right there.
Somebody
any
go look
bets?
under.
Any bets for the next one?
Not yet. I think
Thinking
I think
maybe-
next year
we
has
got to
play
wait
out.
until they roll out the script.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
There's a few candidates.
Last year in January, all the AI just dominated the news, and it's been the story of the year. So, so we'll know probably by the end of January what the agenda is for 2024. But if anybody wants to ask Zelensky what's up, they should go check under a bus because that's where he's been thrown.
Along with
He's got a
couple
face
of them.
tattoo now, and he's rapping.
It's like a tire track. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. We got to stick with Joker, Florida Joker here. He's. I agree with whoever said earlier that they could understand why after watching Heath Ledger's performance, like it could really fuck with somebody. This guy, again, I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. I think he's just kind of.
No, he's been programmed, man.
Yeah,
it's obvious.
He's probably
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Like you talked to him one-on-one,
Traumatized.
Probably,
Yeah.
like,
A lot of these people aren't. I mean, I've known stacks of scary, I basically grew up with roadies and stuff, and I've known heaps of really scary looking people, and they're not. They're just they're pussycats, basically. They're scary when they need to be, but not with.
No,
if they don't need to
we
be.
always project things onto people that, like, we make the shit up in our heads and we put it onto other people. And we don't realize that we've done it until we actually go through the process of understanding that person.
Yeah, it's crazy. You'll meet somebody that you might have some preconceived ideas about, and it'll just at least sometimes transform like your view of them completely.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much of that's programming to on our behalf as well. Like we've been programmed with the stereotypical Hollywoody type roles as well.
Yeah,
aware of it or not.
Well, listen to what he's got to say, and then we'll get to why he's relevant, like right now, which Binkley, I believe, you already hit on. This guy is connected to Grand Theft Auto because they are using his likeness.
Kind of what he wanted. He said he wants to be in movies and stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, here, check this out here. Oh, wait.
Proof of me waving a gun around at nobody. I had a knife. I did not have a gun on me at that time.
A local man who likens himself to the Joker, arrested on a weapon charge, is now out of jail, and new tonight, he's telling his side of the story to CBS 4's Hank Tester.
I was treated nice. I was treated like a celebrity inside. They treated me really kind. They had me in the psych floor because I take medication.
And has a face full of tattoos, green hair. 29-year-old Lawrence Patrick Sullivan. His mugshot. Yes, he looks like the Joker.
Oh, this is Mr. Sullivan? All right, good morning, Mr. Sullivan. You charge one count of carrying a concealed firearm.
Cops say he was waving a handgun out in the hammocks. Sullivan often posts profanity-laced YouTube videos, threatening videos, all in character. His mom says he has mental issues. His sister.
He's a very good-hearted person, He doesn't, look for any problems.
But no one could argue he looks like a problem.
I asked the Hammocks police station how polite and nice I was to them when they arrested me. I didn't curse at them. They treated me really kind, really respectful. They're really good cops.
And cops relieved Mr. Sullivan of a handgun like this, a Smith & Wesson 380 Bodyguard, 6 rounds in a magazine. Sullivan, who says he's a tattoo model, turned down a public defender.
You don't have a lawyer.
I didn't even feel like signing the paperwork. I'm really not in the mood for that.
Sullivan gets bond, $5,000. $500 gets him out on the street in full character. The Joker is back in business.
If I was waving a gun, then yeah, I'll admit it. But I wasn't waving a gun. Did I have a gun in my pocket when I was walking my dog at the time? Yes, because I want to be safe.
Sullivan said he wants to go home, relax before his next court date.
I'm like, dude, this guy seems totally reasonable to me.
Right? Yeah. They probably did target him because of the way he looked, and he probably wasn't waving the gun around.
No.
Yeah, he's walking his dog. Imagine him picking it up. We all got to pick it up,
Yeah. What's up, Bear Snare? How you doing, bub?
Hey, guys. I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Oh. Hey, Binkley. I've never talked to you before. I heard your voice,
What's up,
though.
man? Nice to meet you.
I like your show. I like your show.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Anyway, go ahead. I don't need to interrupt whatever y'all were talking about.
We're talking about the Florida Joker, which is, I don't know, I mean, like, as usual, I feel like this is one of these what we've come to know is like Steven Seagal moments where I'm like, hey, everybody, let's talk about this totally whack motherfucker and decide, to me, it's interesting to figure out why people become what they become, right? Finding yourself versus creating yourself kind of shit.
I like the thing. Yeah, it's a total. I agree with you. It's like it's a lot more. Ashley, I brought this up a moment ago that when you listen to him, there's a lot more to him than that surface level.
Yeah, it's like the Florida man origin story?
Well, we covered Steven Seagal. We covered Afro Man. You know, these certain characters, right?
I just wonder whether he's doing this sort of like as a career move. Like, did he get these tattoos before?
100%.
I mean, did he get them specifically to make money? Like, to get
Yes.
into... So he was just a dude and then went, here's a good idea because I can't do anything else. And I'll
He's-
tattoo my face and get into movies.
He will admit it to you himself.
Right.
And that is quite a like. You got to really feel confident that's going to work.
Yeah, you better be a
If
bloody
it
good
does,
tattooist.
with GTA, you know, he's gonna be telling a story. You know, I knew I could make a living. I knew I could be in the movies and video games. All I do is get my face tattooed. You guys can be just like me, and all these kids gonna be getting face tattoos. Trying to go
Yeah,
in
and then he
movies.
turns up to an audition and there's all these other tattoos.
Everybody looks just like him now.
It's- Dang. Yeah.
Well, so I missed the episode with Afro Man. What was the verdict on that one?
Verdict is the fucking police fucked with him, and
so
he,
funny.
yeah, they busted down his door.
His song was so funny.
He wrote a
They
song
ate his
about
pound
it.
cake.
Yeah, he wrote a
Yeah, it
6-minute
was
song
great.
about it. Yeah,
It was so good.
He wrote
Song
like
is awesome.
four or five songs about it. Yeah, and
I love Afro Man.
Yeah, Afro Man, Fro President 2020 Fro. Bro.
Fro
He also
president,
writes about
man.
fish.
I'll vote
I'm
for Afro
saying.
Man.
Yeah.
me too.
And he you know, I'm sure they never reimbursed him for the damage to his gate, you know. Motherfucker.
no, I
great,
think they
man.
still
Yeah.
haven't.
We actually, in depth, this was like early on. This was probably within the first 10 episodes of the WTF forum. We in depth covered the legality of whether or not the police owed Afro Man for busting his gate, and like how this would all shake out in the court of law. You know, not that we have any expertise, but we watched some YouTube. So it was fun though. You know, Afro Man is a good, you know, Steven Seagal. Like I said, I like these enigmas, these weird characters, and we can learn a thing or two about them and about the rest of us. I know I'm talking out of my ass, but
Well, Seagal, they get on Seagal because he likes Russia, right?
well, yeah,
get on-
he aligned with Putin, and I kind of pointed out like maybe we should all take this more seriously than you want to. I know it's Steven Seagal, but maybe he's right. No. You know?
Well, I don't think you're necessarily talking out of your ass, Mike, because I think if Carl Jung were here, what he would say is that all of these insights that each of us think that we're having about this gentleman and his personality and his background and whatever else aren't actually insights that we're having about him. They're actually insights that we're having about ourselves. Yeah,
Fucking Carl
Yeah,
throwing that
probably
out
would.
there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah,
Drizzle.
I think that's true in a lot of.
I feel like that can be applied to any situation almost. You can always find a projection of yourself in everything that everyone else does if you try. hard
Dr. Drizzle and all of us.
So Mike, are you talking out of your ass, or have you got a gun up there and you're just shooting shit?
I don't know. I mean, again, like I don't know why. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring up why this guy's relevant right now. Okay, so he is suing GTA, Grand Theft
is he?
Auto.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, they stole his likeness. Here, let me lose this and bring something.
Was that
else.
photo? That was him, right? They didn't give him a Joker jumpsuit for prison or jail, right? Did they?
Well, they you'll see here. Okay.
And I also would like to chime in, like, okay, no one, they didn't steal your likeness. You stole the likeness of a conglomerate of a character from comic
Sorta.
books and shows for like the last, 60 years or whatever. And he looks a little bit more like Jared Leto's character, who was the Joker. And
It'd be funny if Jared Leto sued him.
That's a good thing to point out. Yeah,
And
he's mixing his various incarnations.
Yeah, but having said that, I would be happy for the little guy to sue Grand Theft Auto and
Well,
make a lot of money. Fuck
to
them.
to be fair, they are stealing his likeness. They're not stealing the
specifically,
Joker's.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
big time. Like, I think he's got a case.
I think he does also.
But at the same time, did you know Lindsay Lohan tried to sue Grand Theft Auto 5 for a picture that they used that was very similar to a picture of her in a bikini. Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
No,
except
when exactly in the game was that again? I'm gonna have to go back and investigate.
it was. I can pull it up. I'll show you.
And I will say that I'm pretty sure she also tried to sue Pitbull whenever there's a lyric or a line in one of his songs said, "We got it locked down," like Lindsay Lohan. And I think she tried to sue for that as well. I don't think she was successful in that particular case.
No, she wasn't successful. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah, what happened to her, Lohan? Did she just
Well,
step
nothing
out of the
good.
spotlight?
Married, didn't she?
Nothing good.
Got old.
Yeah, actually,
Oh.
so she did ruin her career. However, she
That's
has
supposed to be
sort
her.
of that doesn't look like her.
Yeah, I
Well.
don't think she has a case. Like,
I don't either.
Yeah, no
Apparently,
case
she
there.
didn't.
That
but
is basic bitch shit right there. Sorry,
basic
Lindsay.
bitch shit.
Could be anyone. Yeah.
Could be anybody taking,
Could be a bloke.
selfie. yeah. It could be. It might as well be Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
well, let's not go.
I don't
Let's not
know.
go
I don't
The
know
there.
about
comparison
that.
photo
Yeah,
has
I don't know about
sunglasses on.
I'm
It's
gonna
not
see
like
a
anyone
penis
can
in that
tell
image every time I play.
Thank you, Brad. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Now, I
no.
was going to chime in though. I think Lindsay has settled her wild ways. I think she's either married and pregnant or recently giving birth, and seems like she's settled down as she's gotten a little bit older.
happens
Shucks.
eventually. Took a while.
Well, so check this out. As far as like stealing likenesses goes, I think that the Florida Joker has a case.
I'm hallucinating. I'm not the Joker from GTA 6. Chill out your goddamn nuggets. That's me. That's the person that got the inspiration from. You see that? That's me. That's me. That's me. GTA, we gotta talk, GTA. We gotta talk. Or not, you gotta give me like a meal or two. So what's up? Holler at me, GTA, Rockstar Entertainment, Rockstar Games, Rockstar Enterprise. Florida Joker ain't having that. Y'all took my likeness. Y'all took my life. Everybody.
Is that
Y'all
his
took my
entire
life.
legal argument?
Pretty much.
It's a
yeah.
good one. I'd like to see.
All right,
There's
that's
my
an open
lawyer.
and shut case. Bye. Like, he didn't do mocap for him. He didn't consult with him. He didn't have an NDA with him or anything like that. Like,
Nothing,
there's no
nothing.
actual documentation that he assisted with the creation of this graphic in the video game.
Right. Well, and they used it for promotion. So in the middle here is
No,
the
but what I'm
GTA
saying is, like, where's his prior relationship with the company?
0.
Exactly. So how are you going to sue a business that you basically had absolutely nothing to do with? Like, what is his actual legal standing for this lawsuit, if there is any? Because I can't see that there is any, unless
So I'm not a huge pop culture guy. I feel like Brad might know more about this than I do, but
He would need to
basically-
have some damages when test standing. You have to be damaged by it somehow. So he's going to have to, his lawyer's going to have to present something in an argument where if people, and somebody made that video on YouTube. I saw that video where they compared him, and if I was his lawyer, I would argue, well, he has had this attention. People have ridiculed him. It's kind of hard though to argue he's hurt his job opportunities because of that, because that's one thing. His income is it might actually help his job opportunities, but the attention and the damages he can claim on a personal level, either psychological or emotional now, or financial, is what a lawyer is going to have to argue, and he likes to be his own lawyer though. So I guess he's just going to have to hope the judge comes out and also has a fully tattooed face.
But since he's based that character on another person's character.
Oh my God!
That's
Imagine
not
if
really
the
a
judge
case,
comes
is there?
out in a Batman cowl.
Oh God, he would just lose it. Yeah. Well, even though he based it on something else, it's still if it seems like that was specific enough, because us in cases like this, it has to be specific. And if it does seem like they saw him and said, "Let's make a character after that guy," then that is going to have to be the case.
It looks like the character was modeled after his image. I can see that, but the character looks nothing like him.
Yeah, the graphics are much better.
That's going to be, to me, that's going to be the sticking point. Is there a similarity?
Right,
yes. Is it identical? No.
Yeah, and that's
it's
what
not
they'll
even
argue.
close.
And they'll argue that it
Exactly,
was like
yeah.
somebody else with a face tattoo.
Yeah, and I bet I could probably Google. I'm not going to, but I could probably Google, tattoo, black eyes, tattoos, or whatever, and probably find a stack of things that look similar. So
It's a trend now. I mean, it is, unfortunately, and
yeah.
to go back to social and cultural engineering, I think this has been done, and it is a phenomenon. If you look in the rap game in today's day and time, it's extremely common for people to have a face full of tattoos in whatever configuration.
They look better on black guys. They do, in my opinion. Face
Either that or
tattoos.
there's a hell of a lot of ex-prisoners walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I was on the jury, I would give him Grand Theft Auto's money.
Well, part of my thinking in bringing this up, so like Grand Theft Auto has always been at the forefront of like open world, gaming with like vast number of NPC non-player characters in the world, and like endless possibilities, and half of the game is not even playing the game, it's just exploring the game.
It's like a reality sandbox.
It is. So they're at the forefront. So now after 10 years, right, since GTA 5, we're getting GTA 6, and there's all this buzz about it, right? And if I were fucking Florida Joker and I saw a motherfucker in the game, I'm like, yeah, that's me, assholes. I would probably try to sue too. I can't blame the guy.
You might as well try. Yeah.
It's like I can't blame the guy for walking his dog with a pistol in his pocket. I kind of like the Florida Joker. I've got like 10 more clips, but I'm not going to use them because I don't want to beat a dead horse, and we don't want to look at the guy no more. He's crazy, but he's kind of based. I'm just going to say it, like kind of bogus. We can just draw to, have a draw on that one.
It's probably entertaining to be around for sure.
Apparently enough people like him. He's got a lot of collaborations with other rappers.
I don't see how many YouTube followers he has, but he could probably honestly like there's, and not to say that these are the same type of thing, but there's like the YouTube page of the guy who spent like $15,000 to get a perfect suit of a collie made so he could live his life as a dog. Guy's got like 50,000 subscribers. At least the last time I saw his channel, he did.
We covered that. On the forum.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that.
It's very hard to be original these days. If you can come up with something original, I think you got it made for probably 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, and GTA, they it wasn't just that guy. They kind of like a lot of the stuff. There was some more Florida person type images with some of the people just kind of like partying and in some of those scenes.
There's multiple individuals that are being portrayed in GTA 6 just from what we've seen from the trailer. Do you think we'll get in trouble if I play the trailer?
I played it. I mean, you'll get probably demonetized.
We're not monetized anyhow.
Yeah, you'll be fine then.
Okay.
And before you do that, Mike, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So I had also heard a little controversy about Grand Theft Auto, like the new one, going woke. Is that okay?
Yeah. So I listened to Brad's show talking about this. To me, it might be overblown.
Yeah,
these
I agree.
claims. Yeah.
It's just that you play as a Puerto Rican woman. I think is the thing. I think it's. I don't think. I don't think it's gonna be like I might have said this on the show or not, but like I don't think it's gonna be like you have to do a mission. You have to like break into a Christian bakery and force Christian bakers to make a penis cake at gunpoint. I don't think it's gonna be anything like that.
Yeah.
I think you'll still be able to run people over on the sidewalk. And
I've heard it's gonna be kind of a Bonnie and Clyde type thing, where two protagonists, male and female. That's what I
think that's what's
that's novel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about this just didn't sit right with me. This alleged lawsuit, like something just seems off, because the only thing that's happened so far, I mean, people have been talking about this game for years. All right. They just dropped the trailer this week, basically give an almost definite release date. They didn't really. They said 2025, and I mean that could be
a release
January 1st to December 31st, right?
Right.
So we could literally be 2 years out from this game dropping.
It's crazy.
Like, they haven't made a penny on this game yet. Matter of fact, they've done nothing but lose money developing this game up to this moment. Like, some just it seems like a publicity stunt more than anything else.
Yeah.
I agree, Drizzle, and or a distraction, just another distraction, because he's a colourful character. He seems very created to me. It's very much reeks of distraction.
Yeah,
and if he just harasses him enough, maybe they'll pay him to stop bothering him. Maybe he's just
he'll have his 15 minutes and then be kicked off to the sidewalk again.
Yeah, I would buy that. I mean, maybe they have contracted with him to kind of get this publicity and the talk out there. We're talking about it right now, right?
Well,
that's
what
I meant. That's what I meant about whether he got those face tattoos to make the money sort of thing. Like, just imagine a guy, just total loser, nothing really much going for him. Somebody comes up and offers him, $100,000 or something you just got to tattoo your face. That's all.
Well, no.
No worries.
So they don't need to contract these people. They've actually fought in court before with multiple people before Lindsay Lohan. It's kind of what GTA does, right? Like, they bend reality. Like, it's, Vice City is Miami or whatever, and San Andreas is, Los Angeles, and like they build these worlds that are very similar but just different enough. They have cars
there's enough difference that they can claim it as like satire.
It's basically satire.
They have the lawyers to tell them how far they can go. They have enough money to pay for that.
But at the same time, they've been pushing the forefront of these open world games, which are going to start blending. This is my point with Florida Joker. Like, it's like he's real. Florida Joker's real, and GTA is almost real.
I mean, the graphics look, if they're anything like in this trailer, unbelievable.
Yeah, can we watch it real quick, just for everybody's edification? Because I don't want y'all to think we're just talking about video games here. We're talking about virtual reality. All right.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
There was a girl I knew.
That guy in the back.
She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other apart, but love is a long, long road. Yeah, love is a long road.
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Wow.
So like
anybody know if this is supposed to take place in the 80s or 90s?
It's supposed to be modern because that's supposed to be
Yeah.
a TikTok thing.
Modern?
Yeah, there's
Like-
social media as a part of
Wow.
the game. Yeah.
I was gonna say because some of those car models did not look modern.
Yeah.
How many rip-offs were there in all that? I mean,
Well,
there were
that's-
so many
That's
rip-offs.
GTA.
a ton
Right,
of the
okay.
little scenes that they show, you know, the alligator coming into the convenience store, the fat guy running from the cops, you know, in front of the gas station. Like there's all these little snips that are all based on real like Florida man moments. So they really leaned into making fun of Florida. First of all, you know, I'm just trying to like maybe take this out a little ways and look at it from
Yeah.
a broader perspective. They're making fun of Florida. They're like really leaning into real life stories. They've always kind of done that, but like they're doing it really hard. And Florida Jokers called him out. But you know, like I don't know, to me they're really tiptoeing on this trying to make the fictitious ever more real.
Right. If you played that in VR, that would be it. It is. It looks especially the side by side image. While it doesn't look just like him, if you just showed that to somebody who'd never seen that trailer, which I think has like 100 million views or something at this point. It had like 50 in the first few hours, but if you show that, they probably would not notice if that wasn't a real image. Like they
Yeah, it's
wouldn't realize it was
photorealistic.
Yeah.
It certainly took me a few seconds to sort of zoom in and go, oh, right, this is where it starts. It was from the beginning, the not real bit. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. I mean, I haven't really looked at video games that much. It's been a little while since my son was playing them and living at home, so they've come a long way.
That game's going to break the internet when it comes out. Just, they could. I thought it'd be hilarious if they started doing like pre-sales right now, and people would just fucking flood to buy it 2 years before it comes out.
So that's all video game stuff, is it, that we're looking at now?
That's my question.
Well, there was a bit
Just
where his
Biden
left leg
walking
had a
down
bit
the
of a
lawn every
disappearance.
day.
When I saw this video of Joe Biden supposedly walking to Marine One, I'm like, that looks like a GTA character.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a bit just where he gets on the lawn where his left front shin sort of seems to disappear, if I saw correctly.
GTA character.
I can pretty much guarantee you, Stella, that's just the
Yeah,
geography of the land. Yeah, it's either a soft spot
Maybe the
on the
lighting.
lawn or there's a nice little hill
Divot or something,
there that's hiding his feet, because that's the
No, what
land
I meant
all over
was-
Virginia is like that.
Yeah, I think it was just the lighting and his trouser leg, perhaps, the way it was flapping around.
If
Hard
I
to tell,
may,
though, isn't it?
if
It's
I-
getting harder to tell.
If I may disagree, this patch of lawn is probably better manicured than 99% of lawn, like golf
This is
courses.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. This is a golf course.
I mean,
looks like he's got
I've
wooden
set
legs.
foot on that lawn, Mike. I disagree with you.
Also,
I don't think it is better maintained than most of the golf courses in the area, and I've been to some of the golf courses in the area.
Yeah, but if Joe Biden has to walk across it, you don't think they're going to make sure it's not perfect?
I don't think they give a fuck what happens to Joe Biden.
They might be throwing things out in his pathway, just trips.
That edging that edging's not real good. I've seen straighter edging than that.
Doesn't he look CGI in this video?
Yes.
does.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's doing the animatronic walk again. Maybe
Yeah.
he's got a gun in his ass.
Don't bend over, Joe. Yeah, he definitely
it-
looks like he's got two wooden legs.
It looks, I think they're pretty good with the gait, but I thought, like when you first started showing this, I thought it was maybe from the game. Like it does look.
Yeah, it does look animated.
Yeah.
It looks
It's
animated.
interesting to play him back and forth like that.
It looks
just the
very
way it
animated.
affects your perception.
I had a spur of the moment thought, which is, does anyone know what people look like when they're like hypnotized or anything walking?
Not
I
walking.
can't say I do.
I don't either. but it's just a thought. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
You were gonna
Bad boy.
elaborate,
he
man.
obviously looks robotic, so like maybe he's a robot,
Well,
you know.
I would
Something.
say
Hey,
that
maybe he just woke up from a nappy
Yeah.
nap, you know?
He is a robot
Who
in a lot of
knows?
ways. Yeah.
yeah, I mean I have heard a lot of speculation about him being doped up on,
Yeah.
like all sort of methamphetamine type medications just to keep him hobbled along to the next
Yeah.
thing that they parade him out for. But I would say that people under hypnosis, I would venture to say that they probably walk normally, unless they've been hypnotized to walk differently. And I'll tell you that because did you ever see those shows at school? They used to have one every year at college. Like this hypnotist would come and,
Yeah,
brings the
that's what I was
people up
thinking
on
about.
stage. Yeah. And so they walk totally normally, only unless he tells them to like act like a chicken or something like that,
Or if he's real twisted, then all of a sudden there's everybody's blowing each other on stage, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah. You'll
That's
have
just
that
my
when they go
school.
off the rails. Yeah. That was just.
That
That's
could have
Georgia
been
Tech.
anybody.
Where'd you go to school, Brad?
Georgia College, not really. Yeah, Georgia College State University. I do know somebody who went on some show and is an improviser actor that I know, and it's like videos got millions of views. He was like hypnotized into like trying to eat a shoe or talk on the think his shoe was a phone, and I think I read somewhere, I don't know how accurate this is, that people who are more critical or that are skeptics like us are less likely to be hypnotized in those circumstances than people who are just like, yeah, I'd love to go see if I could be hypnotized. And this person who I know him, so he totally could be hypnotized. But that is interesting to think about that in context with like the news and the media and the way that they are able to affect people's behavior. But
Yeah,
Biden, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've wondered that for myself because I'm skeptical whether or not I could be hypnotized. But I guess maybe if it was the right person, if they were good enough or something like that. But whenever I went to the stuff in school and they're like, okay, you're getting very sleepy. Focus on the sound of my voice. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
shut the fuck up, dude. when they say that to me. Yeah.
I think anybody can be hypnotized if they want to be hypnotized.
Yeah.
Like if you're like at the thing and you're like, I want to see if this works and I also want to be a part of this, then it's all your attitude. If you're just, no, I'm not gonna do it, and being stubborn, you're not gonna be able to get into the right state.
Who would want to do that? Who would want to go get hypnotized?
Putting
I
your
did.
mind in somebody else's
did
hands.
you?
Yeah, well, I did too.
Yeah, back in the early 2000s. But yeah, I was 21 maybe. So yeah, it was.
Did it
was
work
fun
at
though.
all?
It worked. It worked really well.
Were you up there
I had a
acting like
friend
Shania
who
Twain
was
on stage?
hypnotized. Oh, sorry, Ash.
It's okay. I was just asking Ando if he was hypnotized to sing, "Man, I feel like a woman."
He don't need to be hypnotized. I saw him
Yeah.
do that at Childerberg.
Every morning. Yeah.
No, I had a friend who was hypnotized to quit smoking, and he quit smoking.
Wow, now that's cool.
Yeah. And I did a similar thing to myself, like 25 years later.
Yeah.
For stopping smoking?
Yeah.
Nice.
Apparently, my dad used to, excuse me, my dad used to know how to hypnotize someone, but he decided not to do it anymore because it was unethical. It was like, 60s, 70s. He was into all that hippie shit.
What was he having people
yeah,
do?
Somehow. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, like, I guess it was just
Probably-
that having
probably
power
not
over
quitting
people.
smoking.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just having that kind of power over people.
No,
it's like a
totally.
weird thing.
Oh, good
It
for
is.
you.
The Vietnam War. No, it's
But as far as I
dad's
know,
fault.
I've never been hypnotized, which probably means I'm always hypnotized. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I
Well,
guess we
you know,
wouldn't
I mean-
really know if we were.
They're hypnotizing the masses, aren't they? I mean, that's what they're doing with all their propaganda and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
That dude could have been anybody walking across the grass. It probably wasn't even Joe.
Well,
I mean, Joe's
okay,
probably not even
okay.
alive. They're
I'm
probably
only
waiting
gonna
for some
play it.
date to come up to announce it, so it all works out with symbology, like they did with Kissinger. It's the 333rd
you know,
day. God.
an easy thing you can do to test if you want to know if you've been hypnotized before and you're not sure, just ask yourself, have I ever watched television?
Yes.
If you answer yes,
Exactly.
you've probably been hypnotized before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I'm gonna play this one more time, only to give you the audio because I had it muted before, and I was listening to today's No Agenda, and the audio from this clip came up. So either this is the original clip or there's been some fuckery, but like I swear to God, this Joe Biden is a CGI. This is not a real person walking in real space.
My money's on that. Too.
But listen to the audio.
I agree, by the way, even though I was playing devil's advocate.
Have you called Speaker Johnson on the border in Ukraine funding, Mr. President? Any comment on these charges against your son, Mr. President? Have you called Speaker Johnson on the border in Ukraine funding, Mr. President?
Okay. So something about Hunter Biden and something about the Ukraine budget. But like I said, I heard that exact audio on No Agenda, and I'm like, everything about this clip feels fake.
Okay. Do you remember last week, I think it was on this forum, where we were talking about, I was talking about the CGI backgrounds now, the green screen, and how they're doing different. Netflix claim to have invented this new way of doing green screening with AI filling in the background very, very well, and that is using a blue light and a red light and making magenta on the people. So that you've got the green screen at the back and magenta on the front, and that really helps with the AI keying backgrounds. So they're really, really good now. And I have this theory which I'll bring forward. I've been really looking like a hawk at a whole bunch of videos that are coming out lately of things like hearings, sort of like, like Stephen Greer, for instance. He's one that came to mind doing his hearing. And I have come to the conclusion, and this is another clip that I think as well, I've come to the conclusion that there's several layers that we are looking at in some of these things, that you've got a room full of people who are just sort of being filmed and they're not really in that room. They're not listening to those people. They're not focused. It's just a room full of people, probably for some other reason. Then there's another layer keyed of people who are sort of in the background, but there's little giveaways that they're not quite right with their focus and things like that. Lighting, maybe it's very, very good. And then there's people who are in the room, like for instance, this Stephen Greer one that I was referring to, where they are actually behind him. There's maybe two people placed behind him who are in there with him. And that covers up little tiny errors in the keying with the green and things like when people wear glasses, etc. It's very hard to... but the AI backgrounds are so amazing now. It's getting really, really hard. So yeah, if you really look at these things, like they're so good at it now. Their continuity is pretty good. Whereas, in the slightly older days, which aren't that long ago, you could usually pick a mistake. It might have been a depth of field thing or a lighting or some prop that was not quite the same or something like that. But now it's like they're really good at it. So that's my feel of what's going on at the moment, that nearly everything we look at is bullshit. And especially these hearings, etc., that they're having. They're just investigating themselves it's just smoke and mirrors, They
have these computers
Surfaces.
now, these chips where I think is it Nvidia, I don't know if I said that right, but these chips that I saw this advertisement where it's like you can be looking down at your computer, but the AI will change your eyes to make it look like you're looking directly at the camera. So I guess it's targeted for like zooming and stuff like this.
Yes.
And that's kind of wild. I imagine it'd probably look a little bit creepy, but
I was gonna say that sounds creepy as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like googly eyes, just ugh.
Right. Like I wonder what happens when you look up back at it. Like it just seems like there'd be some sort of weird glitch.
There'd be one frame of something very odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess will come out in the future as like, oh, he's an alien.
You also have the
This glitch
South
frame.
What was it? The South Korean presidential race, where the guy who's now president, who was running for president, started using a deep fake in all of his campaign ads because he was trying to appeal to a younger, hipper crowd. It made him look younger, made him use their language, and then he started mimicking the language of his deep fake at his live rallies, and he ultimately won. So a deep fake won, and then his opponent, who was the incumbent at the time, started criticizing him, his opponent, for using deep fake technology, saw how good it worked, and then he started using deep fakes. So deep fakes ran against each other in South Korea.
Yeah, it's crazy, and they're open about it.
Yeah.
And before you know it, we're all living in GTA 7.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point. Like
with the Joker.
Well, at least you won't
Joker-
have to wait 13 years for it.
God, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's like a new Tool album, for crying out loud.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do want to just like give a little bit of cred where credit's due, because Joker Gang like kind of slaps. Okay. just bear with me, and then we can move on to any of whatever topics, because I have nothing else. But let me show you some joke. Let me show you. I just want to show you this.
Joker gang, gold chain, 305, skateboard in my J, laughing at you lame. We don't play no games. I won't say no name. That's the Joker way. You wanna jump on my wave? I fucked your bitch with cocaine. You wanna jump on my wave? I fucked your bitch with cocaine. You wanna jump on my wave? I fucked your bitch with cocaine. You wanna jump on my wave? I fucked your bitch with cocaine.
All right, that's good enough. You want to jump on my wave? I'll fuck your bitch on cocaine, bro. Come on.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad.
So the verdict is based, right?
I'm going based, dude.
Did you say basted?
Based like a turkey, motherfucker. He is based as fuck. No, so he got busted.
He's
for
definitely burnt. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
he got busted for cannabis. He got busted for a gun charge. He's never actually hurt anybody. His third arrest was on a probation violation. It's like, I don't know. This dude's never done anything wrong.
I think he should run for office.
I agree. I want more. I want more Joker 305.
I'm
I
not
mean, he get
opposed to
votes,
more.
Yeah.
Have we decided that he's a creation of Grand Theft World and just a deep fake?
Grand Theft Auto or Grand Theft World?
Yeah, sorry, Grand Theft Auto. Sorry.
I think he might be a creation of Grand Theft World. I think you were actually using the term properly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Quick, sue somebody.
So Drizzle, I was wearing this T-shirt, this wonderful Grand Theft World Liberty Radio T-shirt at
Comfy, ain't
a
it?
truck stop. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful shirt. Everybody needs to go onto your frog website.
Big Frog.
What is it?
Yeah.
Big Frog.
Manufacturingreality.org. We'll get you there.
And grab yourself a nice Grand Theft World Liberty Radio T-shirt. Let's see for the viewers. You
That's
can kind
awesome.
of see it. Yeah. I was wearing it in a truck stop, and the kid behind the counter was like, "Oh man, that shirt is so sick." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. It's my friend's show." And he goes, "Oh, I thought it was the video game." I'm like, "Oh, okay, gotcha."
Yeah. It's a
Close.
brilliant design, I must say.
It's kind of like the video game, except it's real.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
Are we in a
the
simulation?
game world that we live in.
Speaking of which,
There was a guy who stole a bus in Gwinnett, where I live recently, and that's what I always do when I play GTA 5. Is I try to steal a bus. Yeah, I would like to just drop people off at their stops, but you can't. You just have to run people over. But I thought it was funny because the guy goes onto a bus, he demands the driver get off, and then he sits down, and there's one passenger on the bus still, and probably terrified this chick was. And what's he do? He drives her and drops her off at Waffle House. And then
Good
he
man.
goes to Stone Mountain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What was his business at Stone Mountain? Did you ever find out?
I'm guessing he wanted to see the Christmas display they have there every year.
Yep. I bet that's it.
Real life
Didn't he wreck
GTA,
it?
man.
Yeah, he tried to turn around because he ran into a fence, and then he stands up very calmly, puts his jacket on, and then just walks off and gets arrested. I'm like, I'll do a GoFundMe for this guy. Let's get this guy.
So, like, part of me wonders if they had a point back, 20 years ago when like GTA first came out, and they're like, oh, these violent video games, kids are going to lose track of what's real and what's fake. Like, I don't think that was true at the time, but I think it's becoming true now to some extent. And now I feel like an old fart saying it, but like, I don't
Put
know.
some crazy ideas out there that some people may not have otherwise thought of. That's for sure.
No doubt.
It's fun as hell, though. Let's say that.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to do a bit of a transition to what I was telling Ando earlier. I think we'll call the "Who Are You" segment. Who are you? Who? But you know who I'm talking about. What is it? James Yu? Is that right?
Oh
Is it
God,
James?
yes.
James Yu.
Yeah.
In terms of, this is like a GTA-esque like scene that we're
That
not
was
used to
wild.
seeing in real life, but this house blowing up.
That's a good way of putting it.
It's almost an unreal scene.
The explosion is just like way more than you would expect. I was recording his LinkedIn page, and I hit refresh, and it like disappeared. Like while I was doing a show on it.
Yes, that was
I
pretty
saw
crazy. That was funny.
And
Yeah, it just
I think
blew
I
it to
heard-
smithereens, and there was no
Yeah.
buildings next to it that looked like they were terribly affected. That's
Yeah.
my first thought at the time.
No.
Anyway,
Well, I think I was listening to OBDM podcast, and they were saying if you slow down the video, or maybe it was even your broadcast, Binkley, but they were saying if you slow down the video, you can actually see like a couch shooting.
Oh, I
out
didn't
of
see
the
that.
house.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and actually,
that
if you watch the very beginning of the explosion, it seems to be exploding from the corner, like outside of the house, like where the car is parked, like at the carport. And then there's a secondary kind of explosion. It's very bizarre. The whole thing is weird.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
at first they're like 3 officers are injured. There's no reported deaths. It's like, wait, what? But they say he died now, though, right? They say they found remains. They think is him.
Well, yeah, I heard they found human remains.
Yeah.
And like that's all that was said.
Right, it
Was
wasn't
they
specific,
found
right.
human remains. So it's like, all right, was it one body? Was it multiple bodies?
Yeah, it was a duplex.
No
and
idea.
They say that, yeah, it's a really strange story that did not get a whole lot of attention.
Human remains could be like a lock of hair, some fingernails.
King Tusk, for all we know, like be 200 years old. 300.
I was thinking an eyeball.
No, but
So
the explosion was bizarre, and like there's a whole lot of backstory. I haven't done a lot of digging, but I assume at least some of you have.
Well,
I
he
saw something
worked
about his
allegedly.
parents.
Yeah, he worked for a government agency. I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head, but he and I haven't seen anyone disputing this. He was pretty high up. He had high level clearance in the work that he did, and his parents had like deep state connections, and
Or
it
the
was,
CIA, from what I heard.
yeah, I assume everybody in Virginia is part of the CIA. Is what
Yeah,
assume.
he's in Arlington. Arlington is Spook Central.
Yeah, Pentagon, right? Right there.
Yeah. Well, it's Pentagon, it's CIA, it's DIA, it's FBI. Like Arlington is the spot.
Definitely
If
some
you work for a 3 or 4 letter
military there,
agency,
too.
you're gonna interface with Arlington sooner or later.
Yeah.
After this story broke, a bunch of us went into Rob's chat to talk about Tannerite doors and seeing if that was maybe what James Yu was up to. Maybe he's a huge fan of the Black Labs podcast and got himself a Tannerite door for whenever ATF comes a knocking.
You know, Rob got me thinking he's gonna corner the market for tannerite filled doors. I'm gonna corner the market for tannerite filled garden gnomes, and we're gonna be rocking and rolling here. But
Well,
yeah,
that was a joke within the Boog community. The Boogaloo Boy is that they were gonna have their Tannerite stuffed dog on a Roomba for whenever the
Right,
ATF
the
breaks
Boomba.
in. Yeah.
The Boomba, is that what you said?
Oh, that's right. I'm reading in here. Ashley put in the chat what Yu's parents were up to, and his mother. They're both connected to the CIA, but his mother worked for Voice of America, so maybe she knows Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
because his dad ran Voice of America, so I would imagine he probably knew this woman.
Maybe Tucker's his half brother.
well, you know, I don't watch the cable news on a daily basis by any means or at all, but it seems to me that this story is not getting covered. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think had he had a few less posts that expressed his dislike for Trump, then they would have put a MAGA hat superimposed on his images and called him a conspiracy right-wing because he was a conspiracy theorist, but he had too many. He obviously didn't like Trump, so it was hard for them to do.
Didn't fit in their box. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just forget about it.
Well, I know it's bad grammar to say who are you, so it's going to be who is you.
That's funny.
But no, this is a weird one, man. He seems like he's got spook written all over him. I'm hearing little bits here and there, but nothing concrete. But this.
And has there been any word at all on what caused the explosion? Because I haven't heard.
They said there wasn't gas left on. They said the gas was turned off before. At least they said.
All right, then what was it?
Press conference. Yeah, they haven't said, as far as I know.
Had to be something. It didn't just catch fire. It went big. It went boom.
I mean,
crazy blast.
What about if it was climate change, then they should just level with us. All right, we're adults. We can take it.
I would love it if they did that. There's been climate change, and because they really need to instill that local fear in climate change. What about that guy who recorded it? He was just super excited about it. And I get people being all jacked up after seeing something.
Oh, yeah. That. I mean, come on. Dude, we had a SWAT team across the street while I was at work the other day. And we just all stood out there watching. One of my coworkers, he starts screaming, "Just shoot the motherfucker. Shoot him. Shoot him." It's like, and honestly, I was sitting there, I was laughing. I'm like, this is actually how people think. It's like, they just want action, man. All they want is action.
That was going to be my question is how did this end up being recorded that the house exploded? Because I pulled up a thread. I tagged Drizzle in it on here. It's a pretty comprehensive thread about all the weirdness associated, but the original post is the house exploding. And so, Brad, you're saying that footage was taken by somebody who was just watching the standoff? The
story was that it was a standoff for 4 hours. They didn't really focus on that when they first reported, but the police got called around, I think 4:30, and I guess they got there a few minutes later, and then the explosion happened around 8, and so all the neighbors were outside watching, and the guy who filmed it, he went up on the roof of his house, and because he was filming, him and his wife were up there filming, and his buddy, I think, and that's what the official story, according to that guy, is anyway.
And I think, okay, probably so, because I've recorded some stuff. If I see something, sometimes I'll try to record it if I have the ability to do so. But isn't it lucky that you just have to be recording at the moment that within a 4-hour time span that you happen to just be recording and catch the house blowing up?
Well, so what he says is that they brought in the SWAT team and that the SWAT I guess whatever they had, the SWAT vehicle slammed into the house once, and then he started firing, and maybe that was a signal to pull out your phone, start recording.
Oh, gotcha.
So I don't doubt that he was recording, but what I question is, was he the only one? I think there has to be multiple other people that recorded this
Sure.
incident. We are only seeing this version of it. If there was
Yes.
that much chaos.
For sure. Because people love to record stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Even
I saw
satellite footage.
Right. Yeah.
I saw on the
Anybody know what the exact address is?
I could find it for you.
I got you, fam.
What about security? I mean, security cameras.
844 North Burlington Street, Arlington, Virginia.
So
Those body cameras.
55564.
I saw something about there was apparently a stream on Twitter where James Yu was commenting on the video of his own house blowing up.
Do you mean Dennis?
Dennis? Is it Dennis Yu? What's the guy's name? I'm talking the guy who's the suspect here.
So you're not
Who,
very
you?
good at Twitter.
No. Yeah.
Who
There's-
are you?
There's a
You,
man
you.
named Troll King Dennis who
Oh, is that
poses
Dennis?
as people. Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, so that was we
I
think that
actually-
was the resurgence.
I
Okay,
tagged that
okay.
in Brad. I tagged Brad on that the other day because because he responded to some sort of headline that said he was dead, and he said, "No, I'm not."
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm looking through that. I'm going, that's not really this guy, is it?
Yeah, so
Okay,
that's
okay.
that's the whole thing, Brad, is that there was a movement. Somebody was the original Dennis troll, but then it became a movement. So people would create all these accounts and they would be Dennis, but they would be acting like somebody that was prominently featured in the news, whether that was Joe Biden or Krasenstein or whoever. And if they quote got you, meaning you saw the post and you're like, fuck you, Krasenstein, then you check and they would respond and they would say $8, baby, and then you're supposed to send $8 to their Cash App.
I see.
And for a while, when the accounts were allowed to trend, it was hilarious because they would get people all the time, but they were constantly coming up. They were changing the profiles, the names, all this stuff, and coming up with really funny stuff to really actually troll whoever was being promoted by Twitter at that time. It was pretty genius.
Yeah. I remember seeing the I am Dennis. Everybody saying I am Dennis for a little while.
The Dennis arc has been great. Supposedly he's retired, so it might not be him posing as James Yu, but it's somebody that's trolling.
Yeah, it's one of the Dennis guys because
One of the
there was
Dennises,
the OG, but then several of them also had accounts. I mean, it was a real operation for a while.
The original Dennis is already retired. He must have been making a killing on this.
He got fed up because he could never he never could get any kind of progress. Like after it's like the algorithm figured it out, then there was no traction anymore. It wasn't showing up in anybody else's feeds.
So supposedly James Yu blew up in the house then.
That's what
Supposedly.
they're telling us. Yeah, I don't, very vague details.
I hope he's still around. I think that would make him pretty based.
Yeah, hopefully he had a blast.
Wah, wah, wah. I don't. Yeah, I'm
they
like.
said it was. They said it's believed to be him, right? Have they said it's him yet for sure? Because they always speak around things when they're trying to make you believe one thing, but they actually don't know, or they're just blatantly lying. And that's kind of how they were speaking about it a couple days ago. So we think it might be him.
Yeah, seems like another distraction. I wonder what's going to go up on that lot. Some news.
I don't know. It's the end of the street. That's the interesting thing. So this is actually his house right here, the farthest one on the left. And it's the last house on the street. There's like not much behind it or on to the left of it. There's another park. Like
I
there's
believe
just
it's a
whole
duplex.
park.
It's a duplex as well.
Oh shit, you're right. I think it is.
Yeah.
They said those
Oh,
other people
wow.
were out of the house. Yeah.
Wow.
So what if
So that's
what
a
if there
brick,
was
brick building, correct? I mean, how could that?
Yeah.
How is the building next door? Does anyone know? Did it survive? Because it looked like it did on that blast footage, but then
Not
couldn't see
the other side
angle.
of the duplex.
Yeah, I
Maybe-
wouldn't think
maybe the
so.
next building, but this whole fucking building is fucked.
Guess this fire extinguisher was worthless.
Yeah.
What if there's no gas or tannerite or C4? There's none of that, and it was just a Tesla.
It was an electric vehicle that blew up.
Yeah, that was odd.
I like that
the way blew
version.
up.
I mean, those things blow up and they can't put those things out.
But do they blow up? They don't blow
Yeah,
up like that, though. I don't think.
They can be pretty violent.
Yeah, that looked
Not
more like
quite-
a
not
gas
quite that
explosion,
violent. Yeah, yeah.
or something really, really volatile, or a dew. Dare I say? We're gonna go
Lithium
there.
fires. Lithium fires are real bad. They don't go out easy.
Take days to
They
put
smell
them out.
terrible.
I
Yeah.
read. Yeah.
So I just broke my phone. I shattered the screen. This is about a month ago, and I ordered a new screen. And you have to, because phones now, everything is, it's not something you can take apart easily. You remember, not too many years ago, you could just open up the back of the phone and pull the battery out.
Yeah.
Well, now you have to unglue it. You have to heat it up or put alcohol where the glue is, and then pry it open with whatever implements you could come up with. They give you a little set of tools, but you need more than that. Anyway, getting the battery out, the battery is not in a hard case like they used to be. It's just a soft little, like metals, it's lithium and a bunch of other metals in there. And you could rupture it if you do this phone surgery. And yeah, I bent it up quite a bit getting it out of there. So now I really can't trust my phone in every situation, but
It's like
I'm
defusing
still
a
using it.
bomb, trying to get that thing out of there.
Yeah.
You're making me
You gotta run the
wonder
battery
about
down.
those disposable vapes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
With their lithium-ion batteries, and how is that?
Yeah,
Whatever the metal that the vape juice is in.
I've seen so many stories of that, and then I think about it sometimes while I'm driving the truck with my vape just sitting in between my legs, and I'm just like, if this thing were to go up right now, it would do some serious damage. And then I put it on the dash for a little while until I stopped being conscious of the possibility of lithium explosions and losing my nuts.
I did that with a white-tailed rat once. Saved it from the side of the road, and I was driving with it sitting literally between my legs, and it was wrapped in my jumper at the time, and then it got loose, and so that was like, oh my god, like I was driving at the time. It's a bit of a disaster, but yeah, similar. Nothing like
I'm
it.
glad you pulled that up, Mike, because I was looking at the map again, and I was thinking there's got to be a tree line on that other side, because if you keep going on the other side of that tree line, there's the back of another street.
Maybe a plane ran into it.
Could have
I mean,
been.
crazier things have happened in the month of September.
Especially around DC. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not by any means any kind of expert, but to me, it's like there's explosion one, and actually, I'm not unconvinced that it's coming from inside the house, because it seems like there's some like outward expansion going on, but then there's like a second explosion.
It did play it in
Yeah,
real
and
time.
if you look at it, the roof starts to come off before, like, where the what do you call it, the awning for the front door, before it starts to move. So you might be right. That might be outside.
There's like two separate explosions. I'll play it in real time for you. It happens really
Yeah, I
fast.
see that.
It's yeah.
But-
And what's in this guy's house too? This guy was documenting a lot of stuff, if he believed any of the stuff that he was posting. So he probably had stuff like that they confiscated if it was still there.
you see that? Hold on. So
Did
okay.
he have
It almost looks like
information
it
on
crashes
Hillary
into the
Clinton?
yard,
Is that what
like,
we're
where
looking
it's
at here?
moving.
I think so.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say there's an interesting here. Okay, explosion. I'm gonna try to find the moment, but there's like a boom. I guess that might just be a shock wave. You see that? The camera shakes, like everything shakes.
Yeah, and this has
Yeah.
white flashes as well.
People say that they felt it from miles away, is what the news
Wow.
report about. Some
Just
people.
there,
Yeah, I
see
heard
those
like up to
flashes?
4 miles away.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Three.
It's no joke.
So what would create white flashes? It's magnesium, isn't it?
Phosphorus.
Yeah, those flashes are interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know enough about explosions, but it just seemed
Maybe
a little
tanninite.
bit unnatural.
So we've got some chatter in the comments, in the private chat and whatnot. This guy is not just some random freak. It's not some random guy.
No,
The
he was
Skrulers.
connected.
He was connected. He was head of information, global
Head of
information,
global
and physical
strategy or
security.
something.
Yeah,
High level clearance, like some of the highest level clearance, I believe.
at Global Crossing. What the fuck's Global Crossing?
I found a document from that. See if I can find it. That had his-
Yeah, and that thread that I tagged Drizzle in, I had also posted it in Rob's chat, but that goes into a lot of stuff about what the company is, and they seem to suspect that it is some kind of a front. Which would that surprise anybody here?
No, wouldn't surprise me at all. And just a quick search on Brave has them listed as a telecommunications company that provided computer networking services and operated a tier 1 carrier. So they're doing high level comms and transmissions and stuff.
And this thread that I found said that what was Global Crossing? It was Espionage Central and an international spying apparatus that is still in operation today. Who founded Global Crossing? Gary Winnick founded the company in 97. And I'm going to put this link to this thread in the chat for anyone else, like on YouTube, if anybody wants to check it out. But it goes deep. I mean, it would take us a long time.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
know who
very
who this
detailed.
company is. John Laguerre is their current CEO, former CEO of T-Mobile.
So I'm posting in our chat and on YouTube the thread reader unroll, so it'll be there if anybody wants to take a peek.
So would anybody like to translate for the listener what exactly we're breaking down here? Because you know what I mean? Like, I'm barely following.
For me, it's just like this guy who had high level clearance, who would definitely have access to information that might shock people, who became, at least the way was presented himself on LinkedIn, if that was him posting that, is a bit paranoid that might confirm some of the conspiratorial beliefs that others might have, whose house blew up after a standoff, and at least after he fired all in a very bizarre way, I guess is the best way to put it.
So they were serving a warrant. Do we know anything about what the warrant?
The warrant was
about?
because he had been firing off a flare gun from his house into the neighborhood 50 to 60 times. Well, actually, I think it was more than that.
Really?
But it was a whole bunch of times he'd been doing it, and I guess people in the neighborhood called the police, and he didn't hit
As
anybody
they
else's
do.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that makes me think? So this could be, of course, this is just speculation on my part, but what if he was trying to send some sort of distress call to somebody that was supposed to help him or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Like they're on
It's
the
very
beat.
bizarre. It's very
It's
bizarre
bizarre.
to shoot off that many flares
Yeah.
back to back to back. That's not like rational behavior unless you're trying to accomplish a goal.
Right.
Unless you,
But
you've
it's-
fallen
that
and
was-
you can't reach your phone. All you can get to is your flare gun.
Your flare. Yeah. But what, it in this world of espionage, doesn't
Yeah.
it seem possible that
Seems
it was
like a message, definitely.
Yeah.
Was this guy whistleblowing? Sorry if I've missed something. I was looking for Stephen Green.
No,
Was this
I
guy
don't
a
think he was.
whistleblower at all?
There was nothing that we know of, at least, that was a threat of whistleblowing. But I just got an instant message on Twitter from James Yu, and which is really funny because we're talking about it, and it's definitely the dentist pounded by a twink. Let's see, it's pounded by a twink or 6 million, king of the gays, most suspended man on Twitter, satire parody, right? But he sent me links to my Instagram and my VK, which I don't have an Instagram nor a VK, which is really weird because Dennis is not a spammer. So it's just crazy that we're talking about it right now. And maybe somebody's listening to the show. Shout out if you are. Appreciate the listens. And I'm not clicking those links.
Wow. Well, here's some even more fuel to throw onto the fire. So this Global Crossing company, Telecom, was apparently acquired in October of 2011 by Level 3 Communications for $3 billion, including assumption of debt, yada, yada, yada. Level 3 was itself acquired on November 1st, 2017 by a company you might have heard of called CenturyLink. So this was part of the consolidation of telecom that was happening in the 2010s. So whoever this guy was and whoever he actually worked for, the place that he's claimed to have worked for technically doesn't really exist anymore.
What I can't remember what there's the Global Crossing, and then it's like CUFU something that he had on his LinkedIn. That was something different.
I was wondering if you had happened to get screenshots of that. I know when I was watching the clip that you could kind of see
I could just look at
the
it,
video.
Yeah, you can see it. I have video of it. I didn't take screenshots, but you can't see it on the video. Let's see if I can see, because that's where I was researching that, and that's where I found some PDF document that was a Global Crossing document that had his name in it like 4 or 5 times, which I didn't read it all because it was pretty long. But
we have a freeze.
Oh, real.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it did happen late at night or later at night. So I was surprised that his thing was up as long as it was, actually. Like I was surprised to find it when.
Well, they may have been waiting until an hour that they knew that the majority of people that might go looking for it probably wouldn't be. And that way they can just scrub it and be done with it.
All right,
Have
so
you looked on the Wayback Machine or archives or anything?
Yeah. Well, I didn't try that. I've gotten so used to that not working anymore.
Yeah.
Look, it looks like it's CFIUS is what the organization, Head of Global Security at CFIUS, which was CFIUS.
The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States.
So are they
At least
associated
that's what
with
comes up
Global
first.
Crossing?
Yeah, right. That's what comes up first. Yeah.
We're getting a little glitchy, laggy, breaking up from your end, Brad.
Okay, I have too many things open. I'll close them. That should be better.
Anywho, so have
I
we
just realised I was
established?
muted, sorry. It's just
What-
saying the Council of Foreign Anything sounds like ding 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 ding.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Immediately, in title alone. How many of them are there? 300.
So can anybody give like a concise I don't know, theory of who this James Yu guy really was and like who
Spook?
he worked for? Yeah, I mean Spook.
He was a spook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enough said.
and I think he either knew something or was threatening to expose, or maybe he was talking to somebody, because if he truly was sending some sort of signal with the flare, maybe he was, but I almost feel like he had something he was trying to get to someone else, and maybe he was on the brink of doing that, and then they killed him for it. I don't know.
And so he'd sued his wife also, and he'd sued his wife, and he'd sued his sister, and who else was it? So now I'm remembering some of these documents I pulled up. So yeah, he'd sued his wife, he sued his sister, which actually one of the people they interviewed brought that up. He said he had a falling out with his wife because I think that he claimed that they had, it's coming back to me. It'll come to me in a second. But he was very paranoid. At least that's the way they showcased him in the media that was out there.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were following the script of the Lone Nut, like to a T. Yeah. I just dropped a link into the private chat, Mike. It's looks like an official government document dated February 14th, 2020. So about a month before the scamdemic kicked off. Says the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States is an interagency body comprised of 9 cabinet members, 2 ex officio members, and other members as appointed by the president that assists the president in reviewing the national security aspects of foreign direct investment in the U.S. economy. So that was his position. He was actually apparently directly advising the president.
Yes.
I don't know. Has any media reported that so far?
Nope. Sounds like that wouldn't be the kind of position you'd give to just any old asshole,
right?
No. Well, David Grush
that sounds
also
like something you have to earn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh shit! Sorry, I didn't mean to put that up.
In these sort of situations,
No. That's actually that's a document of his wife suing that he sued his wife. If you guys want to see that, so this is it's from 2018. The document is anyway, and so yes, he sued the hospital along with he added that's his wife right there, and I think he added his sister later, and so he complained that I think there was some poor treatment or something, but here's some of the statements they say. These are random excerpts from complaint 1 that will illustrate the overall tenor of the allegations from September 2017. Plaintiff, which is Yo, noticed Mr. Glenn Thrush from the New York Times on MSNBC, an on-air appearance with a sense of familiarity. And so he wrote to the FBI at some point, because the FBI also said he wrote to him. Whether that's true, I don't know. They said, upon closer examination of Thrush on MSNBC, the plaintiff believes that Thrush is one of 2 men who claim to be FBI agents appearing at plaintiff's primary residence on March 18, 2017. And apparently that guy's appearance, he's balding, but they say that Yo says that he would change his facial appearance, which every time I see a spy interviewed on some random YouTube channel, they're always all the way bald because they have to wear a wig. So he wouldn't be off on that. Like here it says he was wearing a wig, the guy who showed up. And I can go through more of this if you want. It's up to you guys. Let's see. It says the special counsel, he sent special counsel Mueller a thing which says, my name is James Yo. I suspect what I am about to describe, which seriously impacted me and continues to impact me today, may relate to matters that you may be investigating. I also copied special counsel Ray on this correspondence. My deceased father, King Ki Hong Yo, was familiar with Jun Ray, who is widely regarded as the father of American Taekwondo. And the last time I saw and spoke with the Grandmaster Ray was at somebody's wedding at the Willard Hotel in D.C., and he wondered if Special Counsel Ray is somehow related to the Grandmaster, and he says he contacted Special Counsel Ray's email without success, and he's not asking for anyone to treat him in a more favorable manner considering his connections. He only asked that those charged with the solemn oath of duty to uphold the U.S. Constitution uphold the federal code and the rule of law, I guess, to regarding whatever his complaint is about. Which is it? The allegations concern matters from the plaintiff's childhood to the present. The allegations frequently involve interactions with his sister and his wife, and they include references to Rochester. Plaintiff believes he was the victim of a conspiracy against him by his sister, his ex-wife, and others, and that they conspired to prevent him. Where does it say the actual freaking conspiracy that he thinks happened to him? Malpractice. He's suing them for malpractice. Like, I started thinking about vaccines when I was reading some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Is
and I was
this-
also
is
going
this
to
all-
chime in that people on Twitter were speculating that this is, this could be like an MK Ultra guy, especially with where his position is, and it just doesn't surprise me I wouldn't discount that. Whenever you see people that are in positions like this and they start behaving strangely, and then you have to consider whether or not they are being made to look crazy intentionally, or maybe they're like breaking programming, and we know that they traumatize people to do that. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I'll
that.
put this.
Just a bunch of scenes in the play, like whether they're aware of it or not. It's either distraction or to do something to further the agenda. But
I'll put that
these
file
things
in
are
there if you
planned for
guys
sure.
want to check it out.
Yeah. There's too many weird things that are weird. Like it's just feeding Burley to this community. Really, that's the way I sort of see it.
And his neighbor said that he never really came out. The guy who filmed it said he never saw the guy, which was weird because he knew about the guy's wife and stuff, which maybe he heard it from the neighbors, or maybe he's a spook too.
I mean, the whole thing, maybe the guy doesn't even exist. The whole thing could be a made-up
It's true,
script.
right?
Just, this is the thing. It's like the whole propaganda thing that they realize that they've wasted so much time and energy and everything on, actual warfare when they could have just been doing this all along. It's much cheaper. Just
I hope they
make
built a
shit up.
CIA building right there where his house used to be.
Make shit up and give some of these Hollywood guys that are out of work a decent job and,
That's true.
nice place in the bunker down the cocktail bar underneath. Yeah. I think,
Does
a lot
require
of
the
it's
same
just made
skill
up.
set.
It's just suggestion, power of suggestion. It's all about our perception. Is Jin here? But yeah, it is. It's about our perception. It's owning our minds, governing our minds, government. It always comes down to that. With all the fringe benefits like gaining real estate, etc. Just go with it. Bells and whistles, basically.
I don't know. It's wild to me that this story is like it's already getting memory hold like a week later. I shouldn't be surprised. Like this is happening constantly.
Yeah.
But
it is.
You know what I mean?
Let's,
Like
let's
yeah.
think back, like Lahaina, even Acapulco. Has
Yeah.
anyone been talking much about that? Just kind of disappeared. Lahaina, Ohio.
Yeah.
Where
No,
all these
apparently
that came
even
and
Jeff Berwick hasn't been talking much about Acapulco lately, and that's rather disappointing.
Does he live there?
He has houses there, yes.
So I will say too that in on some call, somebody asked, because you may remember this, Drizzle, but Jeff was posting that night about the hurricane. He was like, get out, get out. And somebody was like, how did he know? I thought that was a little weird. I thought it was a valid question. And somebody was like, well, he really is into weather, so he watches the weather all the time. And I was like, I don't know. I thought that was a little.
That sounds like an assumption to me, but
Yeah.
because I don't know. I know I didn't meet the man when I was down there. I only knew one person that was connected to him when I was down there, and apparently the relationship between them was done. So I don't know. I have no firsthand experience as far as that goes, but I'd be interested to see those tweets and what the timestamps on them are.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
just
let me see if I
exactly
could
about to
find
say
them.
that, yeah. Yeah, that you'd have to see that to have.
Well,
any
and
idea.
I saw them that night. That's how I knew about it, because I knew somebody who was down there, and I was supposed to have a call with this person earlier that day. It was a Monday, and the call did not end up happening because this person wasn't feeling well or something like that. So I was on Twitter that night. I started seeing posts about the storm. And I messaged that person and I was like, hey, are you okay? Are you safe? And then I didn't hear back from them like weeks and weeks and weeks. I heard through other people that this person was fine. But so I saw the tweets with my own two eyes the night before, just by chance, for whatever reason they were being promoted by the Twitter algorithm. I'll see if I can find them now.
It's funny, whenever I hear the storm, I can't help but think about QAnon now.
The perfect storm, do you mean?
There's a storm is coming or something.
Storm
that
is-
QAnon
yeah, there's
would
always
say,
something coming.
and it involved, I'm probably not going to get it exactly right, but it involved like one of the Kennedys coming back, maybe John F. Kennedy Jr. coming back and running as Trump's vice presidential candidate or something like that.
Yeah,
They're
he's
gonna-
usually
they're gonna
sitting in
march
the
all
audience
pedophiles
behind
and-
Trump,
yeah.
I believe.
I'm kind of glad you can't get it quite right, Brad.
Right, it's probably way off. In fact,
Well,
my
yeah.
knowledge of it is my friend who impersonates Trump on the show. It's just based on the stuff he says about it, so it's probably not even close.
I enjoy those ones where you have fake Trump.
Yeah.
fake Trump's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he's way more fun than whatever debate y'all are covering. That's for damn
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Trump in the green room.
Yeah. Chris Christie doesn't even qualify for the debates, and they roll him out there to lean on a podium for an hour and a half.
Crisco Krispy Kreme. you mean?
Yeah, Crisco. Christie.
I don't know whether you want to have a look at that Stephen Greer thing I was talking about, Mike. I put a
Yeah. What?
I found it took me
That's-
ages to find the video. I finally found
It's
it.
an
and it's
interesting
like-
character there, Stephen Greer.
Yeah. He's sus as hell. But what I was talking about with the green screening and the AI backdrops and everything, like specifically this video is a pretty good example of it. I don't know if you can get it because it's on Telegram.
You know what? It's on Telegram. Can you get me like a real link?
No, because it's on TikTok. I've just got the video on my iPad, basically.
Yeah, I can't really share from Telegram.
You don't need the audio if that's any help. We just want to look at it. Can you share visually from Telegram? No, not. Doesn't matter.
So Telegram doesn't let you share on the present thing. I know there's some things it doesn't let.
No. It has to
Wasn't
be
it
like
just
through.
audio? Okay.
I think it's got to be on the browser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you can get me a link, like
Yeah,
a
hang on a sec.
non-Telegram link.
Well, I've got a browser Telegram. Try this one in the private chat. Sorry, audience. Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, this is live television.
So,
We're getting to
well,
learn how it's done.
I'm kind of a
This
Luddite.
is added value.
Rip the curtain back.
I'm kind of a Luddite here. Who is Stephen Greer?
Oh, Binkley.
He
you wanna
is
take that
the
one?
disclosure kingpin.
Yeah. He did like the first big disclosure back in the 90s on the Disclosure Project, where he brought a bunch of former government employees and pilots and stuff like that, and they testified about aliens or UFOs. And he says
been in the
now
game
that
for a long time.
that we have. So a lot of the stuff that not David Greer.
Steven.
I know that's the actor, right? The comedian. But David Grush is what I was thinking about. The claims that he made on News Nation. Apparently, one of the people feeding that guy information was Stephen Greer. That's what Stephen Greer said anyway. And it must have been about the crafts that we have and the, what are they called? Non-human intelligence. Show me the biologics is what I always say now. Which that's what I think Nancy Mace during the congressional hearing, she wanted to see the biologics. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that would like to show her the biologics, but the biologics that we all want to see, well, I can show you the biologics in the skiff. And that's what all of it ends up being. And then Stephen Greer comes out and says, no, we have them. We definitely have them. And he just did another disclosure project a couple of months back.
Yeah, it's all just hearsay. It would never stand up in a normal court, would it? It's just Barnum statements, as Legal Man likes to call
It's
them.
ridiculous. It's just like,
Yeah, it's
he'll
a
tell me
full
you have all
play.
this sensational shit and say, but we can't show you any of it.
Yeah, just take our word for it.
Unless it's in Mexico and because you guys did the Mexican body story, the alien bodies.
Oh,
they
the
said they
paper
found.
mache ones. Yeah, they were hilarious.
Well, they brought that story back and they say, well, actually, there's like 5% of DNA on these things that are non-human. I'm like, okay, what, mache?
Yeah, paper, like trees, like
somebody spat in it. Spat in the paper mache mix.
Yeah, no fucking shit, man. Like, yeah, trees aren't human, man. Like, come on. So wait, Stella, were you gonna send me something here, or Stephen Greer, or are we?
Did I do it? Yeah.
I don't know.
So go to the very bottom of the private chat in StreamYard, and
Yeah.
there's a Telegram link.
Yeah,
there.
I can't
it's-
share
Is that the
share
same as the other
anything
one, was
from
it?
Telegram. No,
Oh, I thought. Well, that was in a browser. I thought you might have been able to do it from
no,
a
it
browser
needs to be
rather than the app.
a link to TikTok or Twitter or something.
Okay, I'm trying to think how else I can do it. Well, you guys, I'll see if I can do it some other way.
Anywho, anybody have any shocking what the fucks for us here?
Well, I don't know if this is shocking, but speaking of Greer, part of his, because he just released a movie, a documentary, and part of his theory, I don't disagree with all of it. It's just when he starts presenting his backstory and the evidence of it, that's when I'm kind of like, all right. But his thing is that we have some of what we're seeing that it is our stuff, which that's what if there are people seeing things, I think it's either like cognitive electronic warfare, if it's on a radar. Like I used to play this video from this chick from Georgia Tech who was presenting something. It's on the DARPA page, and she's like, what I'm about to tell you, I can only go so far because it's classified, and I have to be careful. And I'm like, okay. But she talks about what the cognitive electronic warfare, what it can do, and basically she's like, we can make pilots think that they're seeing things on a radar that they're not actually seeing. I'm like, oh, well, that would explain a lot of these radar blips that these pilots are seeing. And I think that is a more likely explanation than they're seeing UFOs or UAPs. And then Greer also talks about how it's he says some of them are UFOs and UAPs, but a lot of them are just advanced technology from secret programs. And I think that's more likely than. I think they're going to say that it's China. I think they're going to eventually reveal that a lot of this stuff is China, and it'll be a World War III escalation.
China or Russia. They're probably
Yeah,
always the
one of the
scapegoats.
two. Yeah, right. Or Iran at this point.
Yep.
I'm still holding out for Bluebeam. I think that would be more entertaining.
That would be entertaining for sure. Yeah.
Did y'all see this thing with the guy floating around the sky with like one leg, and he's got his hand out and there's like arrows coming out of it?
No.
You see this? Apparently there were like multiple people reporting this same image of this weird demigod looking thing, and it had Project Bluebeam written all over it.
Yeah, that's interesting. That'd be fun, a Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
Had somebody's inflatable thing that got away.
Yeah, it could have just been a
sex bot was floating in the air.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to own it. I didn't mean to put helium in. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Right. Some latex helium-filled balloon.
He was actually on top of it until he slipped off. And
splat. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to start sending friends of mine sex dolls for their like Christmas and stuff. So they're like in front of their family, like, who's this package from? And they just open up a sex doll.
Yeah. Well, that's why all the companies offer discreet shipping
right. Yeah.
options. Yeah.
It'd be funny if they weren't discreet and it was just like a 6 foot tall box that had like sex doll on the side, and you wait till your buddy goes out of town for a week, and then you make sure it gets there the first day. So it's just sitting on his porch for like 6 days.
Or you like conceal it as like an edible arrangement or something like that, and it's safe to open. I mean, it would have to be a huge edible arrangement, but just the visual is funny to me.
And I always send them refurbished ones, just refurbished sex dolls.
What if it self-inflates? Like you grab the pineapple from the edible arrangement, and it just
the tits knock the fruit out of his hand.
Yeah. Well, like I said, yeah, I was less than prepared this week, which is fine. Like, part of me was like, I tend to just dominate for like 2 hours, and I don't leave a lot of room for anybody to bring anything else. So, if there's any other topics, we can cover them. If not, like, we could just have a little moment to say like what's new, I guess. But what do you guys have for me? I have nothing.
Oh,
here's Stephen Greer.
I think I figured out how to share this. So
cool.
Yeah, is that anyway? So we don't really need the audio so much, but just let me see. Oh, there we go. Can you hear that at all?
Nope.
Oh, okay, we don't really need the audio anyway. But okay, so just getting back to what I was talking about. This guy here, I'm seeing a little bit of green around here, so there's that, but whatever. This guy here, and that was a edit, obviously. I think he's really there behind Stephen, maybe even not. And this woman next to him are in one layer. This person here is in a room full of people who aren't in the same room as Stephen Greer, in my opinion. I've looked at it
They're
a few
even looking
times.
the same way.
Yeah, like that woman, for instance, behind. See, they often change angle here as well, so that's another thing. It's sort of, visual distraction. It's hard to focus on something because it's gone. I mean, you've got to sit there and go over it again and again like I do. Getting back to that other angle here. So this woman here, I mean, you'd think through that whole video she doesn't once look at Stephen Greer, and you'd
Right.
think at some point it would just be
Right.
human to look at the speaker at least
Yeah,
once. It's
right.
just,
It is odd.
So there's that. And I sort of feel that there's several layers. And what I don't know, there's something really disingenuous about him, but that's nothing new. I've always thought that. And then you go, and the other thing I thought was weird is they've got wine glasses, which is sort of strange when you're just drinking water.
Right here.
Like,
Wait, you're not
there's
seeing
an
the screen,
upside
but
down
yeah.
wine glass, but
Yeah.
they've all got.
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
That's
just
where the
try-
little
Here we
alien
go.
is
Look,
underneath.
not him. But there was.
Cat.
Yes, look, see, there's. Okay, so there's that. They're wine glasses. There's
Mhm.
one with some water in them. Isn't that a weird thing to have? Like,
They're crystal goblets.
some power
Yeah.
beaming into it's MK Ultra.
Only
goblets.
blood can be drank out of those goblets.
So I don't know. I just feel that there's a lot of AI background stuff going on that we aren't noticing because it's just so well done now that we're just taking it. Oh, he's in a room full of people. I don't think he is. I think he's in a room either on his own or maybe with this guy behind him, and certainly not all these other people. And this is rehearsed and scripted, and I would be surprised if these people are even in the same room as speakers.
Well,
I have gone and looked at the room in a wide shot, and the backgrounds seem to correlate. So
It's kind of funny because now that we are talking about this guy and I saw what he looks like, I actually had a clip for last week that we never got to, and it's about remote viewing. And
Okay.
it's this guy. I mean,
Oh, really? Yeah.
yeah. Is this guy like somebody that is worth considering, or what's y'all's?
I think he says stuff that's true sometimes, but I think he packages it with a lot of, I don't want to say dis and misinformation. I hate those words, but with a lot of things that aren't true.
there was one more thing I wanted to show you in that Stephen Greer video. If
Oh.
that's cool. It's quite
Yeah.
a good. It's worth it because it's really sus.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's in the very last shot. You look at it like, just watch this. See what you think. Just watch the very final shot. He's finished giving his speech, wrapping
I
up.
guess like the principal there.
Watch. Do you reckon that's fucking weird? That's like on a movie set with a crane. Nobody does
camera
that in a
shot?
hearing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the boom
Yeah.
effect.
It's like it's almost like they're giving themselves away. It's like, oh, this is Hollywood. But
And the way he
nobody
did
would
his
notice
lips
that
too, like
much.
when he leaned back, like he was a bad MFer.
Watch it
like-
again.
like
It just
he's a-
looks like the end scene of a
Guest's
movie.
face is hilarious.
I'll tell you, Estella, a lot of the things that you've pointed out so far are the reasons, many of the reasons why I hate this video format.
Yeah.
What particular thing do
TikTok.
you mean? That the
Vertical.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. The format. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily.
Yes.
It's not the full frame of what was shot. It could be zooming in and out based on someone's edits. Yeah.
Yep. It makes it much easier, and I don't feel that these people are in the same room with him either. See,
Is
there's
that
just
is that
something
what you're getting at,
outliney.
Drizzle? Yeah.
Yeah, it's an extremely limiting perspective for video.
Yeah, I totally agree. It doesn't give you the wide picture, the big picture, basically, literally.
Yeah, it's
So-
literally the visual version of there's no context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Which is how they like to present everything is without context. So that's interesting.
So
Just anyway,
this-
keep an eye open for any stuff like that, and just be aware of it and see what you reckon.
This guy apparently is like a CIA guy. Am I wrong? Or because he's all about remote
Government.
viewing and
Yeah, he talks about a lot of that stuff. He's the type of guy who I think he has a level of influence, and he's kind of been a leader on this subject for so long that I think that the CIA would absolutely have, whether he knows it or not, used him as a messenger.
Yeah, he does like takes people out into the desert. Now he's got an app. Isn't he the CE5 guy?
Is he the CE5 app, the one where you can call an alien you can go have an experience?
I'm not 100% sure. If that's Greer.
It's like $4.99. You got to pay $5 for an alien
Yeah.
to come see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go.
Well,
out
I'm
into
sure
the
it's
middle
not
of the desert.
free.
Right, yeah. You got to donate to the aliens GoFundMe.
The truth is out there for $19.95 a month.
Right, yeah.
For just
Look at
9.99, you too
Buy me a
can
kryptonite.
have an alien experience.
Right.
Well, to be honest, I don't even remember why I thought this clip was worth sharing, because this was meant for last week, but it's Stephen Greer, and if he's come up in our conversation, it might be worth showing at least a minute or two. We'll see. But like I said, this is all about like
Yeah, he is a
how-
CE5 guy.
okay, yeah, no, all good. I'm just gonna hit play.
Is that during the dream time, you have a crystal clear, full color dream. And whatever that is in that dream happens the next day or next week or the next month or 10 years later. How does that happen? Think about it. A thing that is experienced by almost every human at some point in their life, that's a sort of a signpost that says, you're not only what you think you are. All I'm going to do is help you remember who you really are and give you some techniques that facilitate the sharpening of that ability. You can begin to practice that on a nightly basis, and as you do it, you will be stunned at how accurate you will become in getting that information. Ritambara Pragya, the level where all things can be known. Everything can be known, past, present, future. What you have just heard, I would say a handful of people on Earth know, even in classified projects. It's highly compartmented.
What the hell does compartment?
I'm going to
mean?
share in a moment a few of these sort of techniques.
Compartmentalized,
Most
I
people
think.
overthink it, but
That's not
also
what
they
he
don't
said.
believe they can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that,
He usually
Yeah,
says
compartmented.
compartmentalized when he uses that word a lot.
Yeah, I
he did
know
say it
exactly
differently
what
there.
that means, and
Yeah.
if he uses it a lot, then he should know how to say
Right.
it.
Yeah, he said it. You did say it different, and I also find when someone says something like "all things can be known," and then they don't say, "for example," because he obviously
Well, my
knows
com-
all the things.
Yeah, my comeback to that is okay. What's next week's lottery numbers?
Right. Yeah. Did you think about that? Because like the remote viewing, I saw that trending last week, at least for my feed, it was because somebody was, I thought this had happened a while ago, but somebody was like, CIA just admitted that they investigated remote viewing and that it's real and nobody cares. I saw like a post like that or something.
Dude, I don't even know why I saw this. It was in my notes, but we didn't get to it last week.
Yeah.
We were talking about all kinds of magical shit last week, so this was just something we didn't get to. But no, I mean, it's all this is like floating around the ether, man. I don't know why Stephen Greer's in my notes, and now we're talking about him. Like,
Can someone tell me what is remote viewing? Because I'm not familiar with it.
have you watched Stranger Things?
Yes.
So how 11 can like remote contact
Gotcha. Yes.
and see things that are happening on the other side of the world remotely. That's, I mean,
So is that pretty much? I mean, isn't that considered like astral projection?
Yeah, similar, I think. Right.
Another
Pretty
word
much.
for it. Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
apparently America, spent a lot of money going into it, as did Russia. And I believe, who knows what's real, but I believe Russia sort of came out just going, yeah, there's nothing really much in this. And I think they sort of went on to other things like more MK Ultra type things.
quitters.
Yeah,
It's an interesting
that's-
subject, It's
It
definitely
is. And I would, I don't know. I think it's possible. And I
There's-
also
yeah.
question whenever you see things in the ether of pop culture, I always think like maybe that's because it's based in reality, and there's apparently some association with Stranger Things and Project Montauk or something
Yeah.
in New York. So I don't know. It doesn't seem that far-fetched that it's possible to me.
There's a whole community of remote viewers that you can, join in if you feel yourself to be a remote viewer. They do apparently work with government, but there's a number of them on YouTube. One I'm specifically thinking of at the moment in Australia, who it's all kind of, you'll always find generally Q links, Trump links.
Yeah, right.
This particular one I'm thinking of, this lady feels that she's been into, Pine Gap and seen this particular room, and Trump was there, and they were saying,
That's the Secret
wow,
Service.
she's really good. She can see all this, It's like, yeah,
wow.
right, okay.
In Pine Gap, that's like y'all CIA over there? Is that?
Yeah. Well, it's an American base, actually. Australians generally aren't allowed in there. There's only been one prime minister in the whole of the history of Pine Gap that's been allowed to apparently enter, but that's probably crap too. Probably get in via the tunnels.
I do think if we had the ability to do stuff like that, that it would be in the best interest of those in power to disrupt it and suppress it, make people suppress it. So, but I don't know. I like to think that stuff like that might be possible.
Pine Gap is basically sort of like the brain, I suppose, of satellite communications, etc. Like, for instance, coordinating communications between, say, America and whomever. I don't know. They're not going to tell me. But, like moon mission, I think they had a fair bit to do with the moon mission.
Oh, well,
If
everything I
that's what
learned
you
about
believe.
Pine Gap, I learned from the Netflix series called Pine Gap. So I know that a black female
With
lesbian
Sam Neill.
is the
Yeah,
leader
right.
of Pine Gap.
Yeah. Can't get anywhere near Pine
Did you
Gap.
guys see there was it's another Netflix show. I can't remember the name of it. I saw the story yesterday that it was, I think it's a series about these lawyers who exposed one of the pharmaceutical companies behind OxyContin. And
They whitewashed the Sackler family thing.
Yeah, right. They made the lead lawyer a black female, and it was like a white guy who actually did it.
Hey, DEI, baby. Come on. Gotta be.
That's a whole meme on Twitter, and they'll say like they'll take some current event from today's times and they'll say whatever it is, Netflix special, and they're like totally black.
Opposite. And Doctor Who, Doctor Who, they inserted this. They brought back what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. Because they had gone super woke and people stopped watching it, and so they brought back an actor who used to play it that everybody really liked, and he's going to be there for 3 episodes. And I
Like the
think
guy
they're
with
all
the
3
scarf,
up.
was it? Tom Baker?
No, it's what's his name? I don't know why I'm forgetting
John
his name right
Pertwee?
now. You guys
Yeah,
would know who he was.
Is he the guy that was in Harry Potter too?
No, he was in Jessica Jones as a villain.
Yeah, that's the guy. He played Barty Crouch in
Yeah, that guy.
in Harry Potter. Yes. Let me find his name.
Yeah, so they started one of the episodes off with the TARDIS lands on top of a tree, and sitting under the tree, an apple had just fallen, and he's like, oh, an apple just fell under a tree, and it's Isaac Newton, who is he looks black. Apparently he's Indian, but it's an Indian Isaac Newton, and then the doctor is attracted to him because apparently this guy has been gay his whole time. Discovered that, and then it had nothing to do with the rest of the episode. Just nothing to do.
So Isaac Newton was Indian.
I always thought he was Italian.
Wow. Kids who watch that.
I mean, some of those Italians do get pretty dark, though.
Yeah, this one got really dark.
Did he?
But think about history, though, is going to be created in children's minds. They can just completely change history through television using this method.
Yeah. Was gravity discovered by a scrotum dangling in Isaac Newton's Indian face while he suckled at him?
He thought it was. He's going to suck on some balls, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I'm like, what?
An apple just fell and knocked your penis out of my mouth, and
and gravity.
Right, yeah. Yeah, David Tennant. That's right. Actually,
David Tennant. Yeah, I love Doctor Who, but I haven't watched any of this woke bullshit.
It was funny. I thought it was funny. Whole third episode is not to be much of a spoiler, but it's in the premise of it. It was I'll start watch this. Maybe this is what they depend on. I hate watch the Hulk, the television series, because I thought it was funny. And this, I was like, I got to see how far they go with it. And the third episode, there's and I knew it right away because there was a subtle thing. Everybody's angry and they're killing each other. And why is everybody angry now? And everybody's standing their ground and believes they're right about everything. And then the doctor meets with, I don't know who it was, but some government official. And she's like, everybody who doesn't, and she kind of tapped her arm. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a vaccine parallel thing. And ultimately it was everybody who hadn't accepted this thing around their arm who refused to get it. And they showed people who refused, and the people who refused were like, it's against my liberty and my freedom, like that. They all think their opinions are right all of the time, and they are killing each other and destroying the world. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. It's anti-vax, or people who didn't get vaccinated for whatever reason, and people who don't vote Democrat are the reason. It's just a parallel. And I'm loving it at this point. I'm like, just go all the way with it.
Have y'all seen this commercial?
No.
Or they're literally calling it Spikevax.
Oh yeah, they've been calling it that for years. Never made any sense to me.
I'm like, this is news to me, man. Like, are you kidding?
Is that Fauci? Looks like Fauci.
It does from the back.
I just want to know, what PR firm signed off on Spikevax, and how much were they paid?
It sounds horrifying.
It's almost like trolling at this point.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they came up with the worst sounding shit that you possibly could take, and they're like, okay, let's see how many of them do it. And so many people, I thought, okay, most of y'all surely learned after the first two and the booster, right? No, I still have people that are like, oh yeah, I got it before I traveled. I didn't want to get sick. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Dr. Fauci, get your heart attack vax.
I've lost all sympathy. I just want to play this commercial. It's only a minute. It's so funny. I might have to pause it multiple times. We'll see.
When it comes to your health, you do you. You pick.
Okay, I couldn't even make it 5 seconds in. Okay, when it comes to your health, you do you. What? That's not what I was being told 2 years ago. You do you. Oh man, that's so nice. What the fuck?
Yeah, thanks for that.
When did this happen?
No. You're misunderstanding, Mike. She's saying when it comes to your health, you can do whatever you want. When it comes to her health, you better fucking listen.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Okay.
Get the vax for them.
Grandma.
5 seconds. That's actually kind
It's gonna be showing him playing a teenager who drops dead of myocarditis during the ping pong game.
Well, keep watching the whole ping pong thing. I don't really get why this whole commercial is a mind fuck.
Yeah, where's this
Ping and pong.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's this guy. That's an amazing shot. It's the moon he's hitting. The way that it...
Yeah, ping pong in the moon.
That body. You plunge that body. You green that body. You brain power that body. You practice and practice that
Pleasure
body.
that body.
You make it rain that body. You flu shot that body. And now you Spikevax that body. Because even though the pandemic is over, COVID-19 isn't. Spikevax by Moderna is a vaccine to help protect you against COVID-19. You shouldn't get Spikevax if you have.
Okay, pausing there. You shouldn't get Spikevax if ... Okay, we're 37 seconds into a 1 minute commercial. So we have 23 seconds of a 1 minute commercial that is side effects. Yeah.
It should say you shouldn't get Spikevax if you're any of the people we just showed in this commercial.
Can we, yeah. Let's just hear the side effects real quick and then we'll discuss.
Well, no, but before we get to the side effects,
Okay,
before
go
we get
ahead.
to the side effects, man,
Go
can
ahead.
somebody please help me out with the outdoor tub thing? I've been seeing outdoor tubs in pharma commercials for decades, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
It's like,
Usually
what the hell is
it's-
this old guy doing?
When
in my
in
beer
your
cooler?
life have you found an outdoor tub?
Usually
Not
it's
outside of
like
my
a
ping
tub.
pong facility?
That's
Usually-
a Viagra. That's a Viagra thing.
Oh
or
my
a
God.
Cialis thing usually.
Usually,
right?
I just have seen it for people
Usually,
that are doing
but
ice baths,
Here we
cold
are.
plunge.
It looks like a can of tuna, or or a cow
But
trough.
why is it that specific imagery of the outdoor tub? Why is it never indoor?
Well, so earlier in the commercial, they're like, you eat greens and you plunge. They said plunge, and they got a picture of a guy doing a polar plunge right here.
Yeah, ice bath.
It's a polar
I'm
plunge.
thinking-
I
yeah.
understand. That's the reason for it to be in this particular commercial.
In other words,
right?
all
But
these quote unquote
they
healthy things-
specifically included the image of a tub with
Mm-hmm.
a human being in it outdoors in this commercial.
That's not
Just like
unusual
I don't
for
even know
people-
how many other pharma commercials I've seen.
That's not unusual for people with large properties. We actually had one in Tasmania, so to me that's not all that unusual. And you know, who wants to lug ice bags into their bathroom?
Now, I will also say that if you want to get really weird about it, there's a whole thing with the bathtub ritual, right? The cleansing
yeah.
ritual, the sort of like initiation type thing. But I just thought it was just because like cold plunge is really trendy these days. That was my first thought. And I also thought, yeah, get a bunch of these and do a cold plunge and you're gonna die suddenly of climate change.
they're trying to associate all the top like health trends, like juice cleanses, cold plunges, you know, blah 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 blah. They're
Ping
trying
pong.
to associate it, playing ping pong, I guess. Yeah, associate it with getting your spike vax.
Yeah.
It's almost all too bizarre to believe, but
What was that comet ping pong, wasn't it? So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you just from like the visuals, I'm getting like a heavy Wonderland vibe from this video, like Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
it's
almost like
all
a-
like
almost like
odd,
Technicolor,
odd
isn't it?
shots and exaggerated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Old
the
film look from the
sepia-
50s,
yeah,
almost,
the
that colour
sepia
grading.
tone reminds me of. Well, see, when I saw the guy at the very first, when Mike had it paused, and it just had this like sepia tone, like yellowed out building, and the guy had something strapped around his head. I was like, this looks like dystopia. This looks like he's got his
An
brain.
experiment.
Yeah, like his AI or like his VR goggles strapped to his head. and he's trapped in a 15-minute in his apartment building in a 15-minute city. That's what it looked like to me. It's so dystopian.
It almost takes us full circle back to what we started with that game that you played, Mike.
I wonder if you can get vaccinated from
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Because it sort of almost could be like, even just that still looks sort of. I see what you're saying, Drizzle. Yeah.
They should make you get superpowers on GTA 6 if you get your character vaccinated, just to make that association in people's minds.
Would not surprise me.
It might be a thing already. Who knows? We'll see when the game comes out, but you might have
you don't know what predictive programming has been put into it yet. But I guarantee you it's there.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's a great point, because it's like, well, how long before we start seeing the normalization of, like showing your pass before you travel, of the 15-minute city, that kind of stuff in Grand Theft Auto, or in other places, like the normalization of showing your QR code.
You got a mission to kill all the unvaccinated in the rival gang or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that would be a rampage.
Up like cattle.
All the anti-vaxxers are coming after you.
Yeah.
You got like a flamethrower.
Yeah, instead of, was it not LL Cool J? I can't remember the rapper that they did like the special mission in GTA 5, but they just replaced that with Fauci as the mobster giving out the, you need to kill all the unvaccinated at this address.
Well, I'm gonna play the last 20 seconds of this or so. Because
hit me with those side effects, man.
The side effects are fun, and I agree that this is like some dystopian shit, which I think will circle us back to where I began, where it's like, why am I living in a world where I actually have more faith in Florida Joker than I do Pfizer Pharmaceuticals? I know that's a stretch, but hear me out. Oh, we got to get some volume.
Or its ingredients. Rare cases of inflammation of the heart muscle and outer lining have been reported. The most common side effects are injection site pain, redness and swelling, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, joint pain, and fever. Make vaccination against COVID-19 a part of your health routine. Spikevax that body with Spikevax by Moderna. It's COVID-19.
Okay.
I am disappointed that died suddenly was not among the side effects.
Yeah, me too.
Very disappointed.
We know it should have been.
How weird is this ping pong thing, though?
It's weird. It is weird. They bookended it with a ping pong thing. I would have liked to have seen the VR thing going, and except I wish it would have been more realistic. And it would have been some dude like in a room by himself masturbating, and then I wish it would have said Spikevax that body and closed out that way.
It's very disturbing rhetoric. Spikevax that body. It's like, it's sort of playing off of, let's see, who was it? Juvenile, back in, I don't want to date myself, but back in the 2000 era, he had a song, Back That Thing Up.
Back That Thing Up.
Then there was a revision for the shots that was Vax That Thing Up. And now this is really pulling on that rhetoric of like that pop culture type reference, like you do you and that kind of thing. It's very disturbing.
I was disappointed when I saw that video. Girl, you look good once you vax that thing up.
Yeah. Very, very, because these guys are supposed to be counterculture, right? I mean, it was a different counterculture, but turns out almost none of them are.
How about fucking Dolly Parton singing vaccine,
So
vaccine.
disappointed in that one also.
Yeah. No, I used to love Dolly, and now she's just a fucking plastic
Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Hey, watch your mouth. She's got rank, man.
Right.
She can have people taken out. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. And I know we've talked about it before on the show, but Vigilant Citizen put her in their article where she had 2 separate photos of her eye being covered up with a patch, leather patch, up the creep factor. One of them was a star, and one of them was a butterfly, which is also the theme of Dollywood.
Monarch. Yeah.
She is old school Nashville. Anyone who has studied MK Ultra understands what that means.
Interesting.
Interestingly, about 6 years ago, I think I may have mentioned this one, 6 or 7 years ago, there was a song on the radio called Roll Up Your Sleeve. It was quite catchy, but I thought that was kind of interesting because that has kept going through my brain ever since 2020. I just kept looking back going, that was a strange preempt. I mean, it was sort of supposedly about working and, working together. I'll have to go back and look at the lyrics, actually, yeah. It just seemed very predictive-y.
Yes, very predictive. I would be curious what you find on that. And then I also wanted to throw in another tidbit about Dolly. So she is Miley Cyrus's godmother. And Dolly was friends with Billy Ray Cyrus. Well, we all thought that Billy Ray Cyrus was just an overnight phenomenon, right? Just a good old boy from the hills of Tennessee. He's just one of the good guys. Exactly.
He was manufactured.
And what was his song? Don't Tell My Heart, My Achy Breaky
Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. And so he had a grandparent or a parent, Drizzle, you might know this, who was like a president of a Federal Reserve. He was totally created persons.
Yep.
Crazy
International
stuff.
banking family.
And then you see, like, obviously, I think that for the beta sex kitten programming, I think that Miley fits the bill. First of all, she played having 2 personalities as a child on the Disney Channel, and then went on to have like the bleach blonde hair, cut all of her hair off. She's doing the like sticking her tongue out, all the weird signs that they do, all this weird stuff. So, wow, crazy shit.
I was
I'll be
on hold
interested to
play
see
her
if she
uncle.
ends up like Britney in 10 years.
Yeah, Brittany, God. Brittany's like every kid. Like, I just tell somebody's going to marry her again. And I'm just like, her revenge for getting married, for like when like she did to that one guy recently, was I'm going to go swimming with like 6 ripped dudes and blast it out on video to my like 40 million Instagram follower. Can you imagine being her ex? It's going to be a nightmare seeing that. She's got the knives that she dances with. And shit
That's
like
what
that.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
It really sucks because you literally see somebody who was, obviously is very nostalgic for that time. She was everywhere when I was in high school, and then you see this person that was beautiful, all the things, and now they're like a prisoner. They were a prisoner before, in a way, with the conservatorship, but now what is she doing? The same thing, posting weird videos online.
Unless it was all a stunt to sell her book, which it did.
It makes you wonder about the whole like the camera steals your soul. Because like the more you're on camera, the less soul you have left.
I bet her son's friends were always like, "Let's go study at your house, dude."
Yeah.
Well, and I definitely think that and we've talked about this topic before, but it's really child sacrifice. Like the parents who are willing to let their children be property of the Disney Channel, basically. And she was an early candidate of that. And so wasn't Carrie Russell, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and many, many more. Now,
even Bieber and what was that one chick that he used to run around
Selena.
with? Yeah.
So, or Selena, as Nicki Minaj would say.
That's funny.
Well, before we go full blown like Disney Channel pop culture happy hour here, I'm tempted to kind of wrap her up a little bit. I want to share one more Florida Joker clip because I'm making the argument that this is not the hero we wanted, but the hero we needed. Okay. So
he is Batman.
He fucking hates Batman. Okay. But let's go. Here we go.
A little bit about, obviously the mugshot is out again. People call you the Florida Joker. I guess that's what you're known for. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it because I make a little money off of it through Instagram, doing promotions and stuff, because I got over 122,000 followers, and plus World Star Hip Hop, the Instagram page that has 20 million followers, sponsors me and follows me and reposts my stuff on their page a lot of times.
So I'm just gonna ask the question everybody is thinking: why the Joker?
why the Joker? Because it all started with the teardrop in the crowd I got in my face. My best friend, Adrian Severo Lopez, got murdered up in Orlando in 2014, and the case is still unsolved, and I was like my best friend / brother, and that's how it started. Then I got engaged with a woman in Miami, and she did me wrong and dirty. She tried to kill me and stuff like that, so I got attacked with a machete. I don't know if you can see it on my finger.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
So it's like a rope, like reborn, re-death type of stuff. That old Lawrence you saw with the flame face, he's dead. This is the new Lawrence / Joker. You know, I'm a new person.
So, because a lot of people would say that. I mean, you know, you said you get a lot of publicity off the face, off the Joker. A lot of people would.
I get a lot of hate and a lot of love. It comes with both.
What I mean, obviously, what do the haters say?
A lot of haters talk about, oh, you're a crackhead, you're a meth head, stuff like that, because my art, you know, just art expression.
So it's your reflection of art.
Yeah.
So I was watching some of the previous stories out of Miami-Dade County. And I think what the original arrest was allegedly for having allegedly waving a gun. Kind of talk to me a little bit about that.
I was walking my dog at the time, and I got pulled over by a cop. That was the incident that happened.
Okay.
I wasn't waving no.
I know this is getting repetitive. I didn't even really mean to play it that long. What I really liked was what he was saying about
I'm digging it.
The old Lawrence is dead. You know, I am what I am at this point. I don't know, man. I'm saying, like, this guy, in some ways, in a weird, fucked up, twisted way, this motherfucker is inspiring.
He found himself, right?
You know, he went through some trauma. Well, that's my argument. Did he find himself or did he invent himself?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He invented himself. He invented himself, man.
And seemed to be having some success with it.
Yeah. It's working for him, bro. Like, it's working, you know?
Yeah.
I would say it's created, but there's also the possibility of trauma.
Trauma's a big part of it. He lost his best friend. His ex-girl attacked him with a machete.
Usually she pleasures him with a machete. That was an attack.
It could be that too. I don't know. But apparently he hasn't talked to his dad since he got his first face tattoos. You know, hey, go figure. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, the Joker motif works for him. I got no judgment, man. Like, there, you know, I like I said, I went deep on this guy like I do with all these weird characters I bring into the forum. And he honestly, in my mind, he seems like a nice guy.
He probably
He's
is.
got a lot of baggage. But
so,
like, yeah.
I used to know a lot of people who, like, being around theaters for a decade, there's a lot of interesting people that you meet, and he's reminds me of a type of person that might come in there and usually might be a bit off-putting at first, but once you get to know them, they're cool. And if I knew that guy, I would cast him in like every sketch or short film project I did almost, and I would always cast him as the straight guy, like the banker or the lawyer or the doctor. I'm your surgeon. It looks like we have to look at your x-ray. It's this guy, because I think he's a perfect character to put in there, and he clearly wants to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, if he was a created person, obviously, like, that would change things for me. But if he's a real person, I feel like maybe he found himself and he created himself, right? Like, maybe it's a little bit of both. And I do think that the Joker trope is very sympathetic in today's day and time. Like, we've seen, especially with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, you saw how life kicked them down. And I feel like people can sympathize and empathize with that, especially after the last, at least 4 years, but more than that. So I think that it's sympathetic, and I think it's like giving a voice to a downtrodden populace, right? And it's also an underdog, like pulling for the underdog, because clearly this guy's been through some shit. And I think that it gets very old to see someone like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, Anthony Fauci, John Kerry, Al Gore, to George Bush to live their life consequence free of their actions. You know, it's very exhausting. So yeah, I'm pulling for this guy.
You're fucking hitting on sort of this is a big thing that I kind of feel on a gut level where it's like, if they don't follow the rules, why the fuck should I? Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Florida Joker like kind of embodies that attitude. It's like, oh, like life's rough. Like I've gone through this bullshit. Why should I pretend to just be a nice, normal guy when I can just put this fucking face on and feel a little bit tougher, feel a little bit more in charge of my own destiny, even if I'm embracing the chaos, right? That's the appealing thought behind the Joker motif, is the embracing of chaos.
Yeah. I bet you could get him on the show.
I almost thought I should reach out. That would be funny. That would be
I
fun.
bet he'd do it. Yeah.
He probably would. Like without hesitation. I bet he would.
Yeah. That'd be interesting for sure. I like it. It's definitely new. It's like the deeper layers, and we're all a little bit of Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, peeling back the onion, man. Yeah. Apparently he did not care for the Jared Leto Joker, but he liked all the others, which I can respect.
Agreed. Because I felt like they didn't give the Jared Leto Joker very much depth at all. But whereas Heath Ledger's performance was wrapped up in a lot of emotions because people saw, like, you know, in pop culture sphere, you saw what happened to Heath Ledger. You know, he died right after he made that movie. So there was some kind of emotion tied up with that. And there was a whole narrative about how much he was giving of himself for this role. So that added layers even past the movie. And then Joaquin Phoenix Joker was very well done. I mean, it was very well done. And so I can understand that.
All I'm saying is this this guy, I really liked his swagger in the courtroom when they're like, "Are you declining a public defender?" And he's like, "I just didn't feel like filling out the papers."
I'm like, he wasn't in the mood.
I'm not in the mood.
How is that even the same response? I don't get that.
Well, honestly,
in the
again,
mood.
I'm sitting here thinking, why the fuck am I even trying to do life like you know, between the lines? Like fuck drawn between the lines. Let's, you know,
I'm never in the mood to fill out those fucking papers.
I know. I was going to say, when are you ever? It's like,
if Florida Joker can get away with it, why can't I? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
that's kind of weird too. That I don't know how to say his name. Joaquin, is it Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin. Yeah.
That he played the Joker, and his brother was, I don't know, air quotes,
River
sacrificed.
Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah, he died anyway.
There's a way you can look at it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the Heath Ledger death. It's all sort of very interconnected and
Ashley,
weird, isn't it?
Kate, and
Brandon
Ashley
Lee
and
comes
Mary.
to mind as well for some reason. Is there a connection with him?
With who?
Brandon Lee that played the Crow.
Oh, not that I'm aware of, except for
Didn't
just
his
it was a
son-
strange.
Bruce Lee's son.
So he's the one who died during the
Yep.
filming of The Crow, right? Didn't his another relative of his? Didn't a similar incident happen not long ago? They didn't die, but there was like somebody got. Oh, I'm not thinking about Rust. I'm not thinking about what's his name,
Right.
Baldwin.
I feel
Lee?
like you might
Do you
be
mean
right.
in the Lee family? Do you mean?
Yeah, I think somebody in the Lee family was involved in something. I'm hazy on my facts here, but I think a couple of years ago there was something weird.
That sounds right, but I'm not recalling the details either. But yeah, the River Phoenix death was definitely weird, and he's associated with being best friends with Johnny Depp at the time, and Johnny Depp was owner of the Viper Room in
Yeah.
L.A.
Right. Yeah, and he
Was
was
Corey
Which River Phoenix
Hunter-
died essentially right outside of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay, yeah. And he was Hunter Thompson's very good mate. So that was a weird relationship. Yeah, it's all kind of strange, isn't it? Very sticky and gooey.
It makes me think of this post I saw about Corey Feldman is going on tour with was it Limp Bizkit? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing a
what?
Yeah, I saw some people posting about that, and they're like, "Am I in a simulation?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Be
And I still want to
thinking
get
so.
tickets.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I'll go
I would
see
pay
it.
money to go see that. Yeah.
So I like I like the question of are we in a simulation, because Joker Man, Joker 305, whatever the fuck he goes by. I'm like, this is, if it's not simulation, it's apocalyptic. It's like, have you all seen Escape from New York?
No,
It's
but
one
we've
of my-
talked about it.
It's one of
quite
my
a bit.
favorite like B movies, one of my favorite 80s movies. And fucking Florida Joker reminds me of the guy with the spiked up hair that like laughs real crazy. And I don't know if you know the character. I could try to find a photo, but it's like he's personifying this psychotic Joker personality, and it feels too apocalyptic to be real, but it is real. You know, like I often talk on this forum about
Israel.
it is real.
I was
It
just
is-
thinking the same thing. I was like, Israel.
That's come up a few times, yeah.
But I often try to point out what I call our like indicators. Like there are indicators all around us for how crazy shit is. You just have to look. And the fact that this man exists, Florida Joker, and the fact that he actually, I think, has a valid argument to sue GTA 6. You know, it's like, I don't know. What world are we fucking living in, y'all?
Everybody
This-
in GTA 6 is in a simulation.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're just one level out from them, you know?
There's a URL in the private chat if you want to bring up that image, Mike. Of
Okay.
that character. I think it's.
Oh
what you're
yeah,
talking
you
about.
found it? Yes. Yes. Okay. You're on
And
it.
I was gonna say too that when we were watching the Grand Theft Auto trailer, it made me think of like the social engineering that and how far it has come to this dystopic point. And especially, you're right, this guy, Florida Joker man, whatever, he does embody that chaos vibe. And the problem, even though I sympathize with him, is that it is what he's doing is manufactured, even if he doesn't know it. And it's the culmination of this like dystopic and what's the word? Degenerate society. It's like peak decay in a way. Kind of like what you're saying.
Totally.
Peak Decay. Great name for a band.
Actually, it would be. You know, and I'm just gonna play a minute of this last song. I always love having music and actually I kind of like this song and I kind of like the message of it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. Thank God though, Florida Joker, he's credited with this song, but most of the people singing are not him. They're more talented, so it's actually kind of good. But it's talking. I'm talking about what you're talking about, Ashley. Like we are looking at peak decay.
Good man is deep.
I'm really outside today. I'm really outside today. It's that time of day. I don't got time to play. I'm really outside today. I'm really outside today. I'm really outside with the K. I don't got time to play.
Ay, I'm really outside, keep the Draco by my side. Getting money all the time, it's really that time of day. I'm feeling like Chucky, this child's play. I'm really on time trying to count me these hundreds. I see them all looking, they wishing I couldn't. I do what I want today. Hopped in the foreign and went for a ride today. I know they wishing I wouldn't have nothing. Now I'm at the top, man, I came up with something. I trusted in no one back when I was broke. And ain't nothing changed, trust nobody to go. I ride around with a Tommy. Ay, I don't try to rap, this a hobby. Ay, the Cartier wrist on my body. Ay, VVS teeth, no talking.
I'm
really outside today. I'm really outside today. It's that time of day. I don't got time to play. I'm really outside today. I'm really outside today. I'm really outside with the K. I don't got time to play. Yeah, my car parked with my jewelry on and my tats out. Let's see what you about. I'm a quarterback with a Draco and them holler tips will run a stupid route. But I'm outside and you know it. Yeah, them honey buns come fluent. Don't play with my game cause he ain't gon' do it. Don't mention my name if you ain't paid for it. Outside with the gang, get wetter. Judging my life and you can't do better. Don't hit my line if it ain't about chat. Money on my mind, I'ma die for letter. I'm in these streets, I'm in this trap. If bodies ain't dying, I bet they collapse. Now I'm really eating, but not off a rapid. Don't you be lagging, I'm closing the casket. Really outside today.
Okay, there's so much to unpack with that. I'm sorry, like I'm reading into some South Florida white trash rap. Okay, but these guys have nothing to fucking live for except money, drugs, respect. I mean, this is gang culture, but it's like it's so pervasive and it's such a reflection of everything going on. And I'm like, as always, trying to draw a big conclusion to these little examples. But like Florida Joker is a reflection of our culture. We are in decay. And there is actually a case to be made that this man, Florida Joker, is doing something highly rational by making money off of tattooing the fuck out of his face.
Right. Yeah.
And writing the coattails of a character in a DC comic book. Because what the fuck else are you gonna do in this world?
That stuff.
You might as well make some money doing something. I mean,
sounds like end stage postmodernism to me.
Yeah,
but
am I making
you know.
sense? Does that make? Yeah.
Yeah. But the next stage after this is complete death, right? Because like the materialism has corrupted everything, right?
Eek.
Like we're at that stage now where it's all rot, and you just have to wait for it to drop and then really start decaying. And that process usually happens pretty quick.
Yeah, think about like a wound. It's a wound to mankind. I hope we are at peak decay because I'd hate to think we're just at the start.
What a way to describe. You're like a wound to mankind to me.
You know, it sort of scabs up and then it falls off.
Is that what I should use to invite Florida Joker? Hey, we
dear
think you're a
wound, dear Mr. Wound.
We think you're a wound to mankind. Would you like to come,
on the show? Yeah. Well, he'd probably take that as a compliment.
I mean, but part of me thinks that it's like a normal person getting on psych meds, right? On SSRIs. And this is something that Richard Groves talks about, but that because people having peak anxiety and depression in this time, you're having a natural response to an unnatural situation, right? So I feel like that is what this youth is having. It is a natural response.
Yeah, and they've taken sort of so much away. They've made so much hopelessness, haven't they? I mean, you've got to work really hard to get anywhere because they're just stealing everything from you that you work for, left, right, and centre, paying tax upon tax upon tax. And it's, virtually impossible to buy a house now, isn't it? Unless you're born into a bit of money. Got to have money to make money, as they say. The divide is getting wider, which is the plan. Obviously.
Sometimes the plan is to tattoo your face to be able to afford a house, I guess.
I'm saying if he can,
I'm going to
if
wait
he
full
can pay
circle.
his bills, maybe he's got a point.
It's like the option is: are you gonna not be able to be in debt? Maybe end up on the streets, or are you gonna become the Joker?
That's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah,
The ultimatum.
I had fun, y'all. It was good to hang out. I enjoyed it.
Hey, thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
Brad.
thanks for coming, Brad.
I think we're
Thanks for
wrapping this
having me.
bitch up. But yeah,
I
really
appreciate it. It's a lot of
it.
fun.
Yeah,
See
we'll
you guys
see
later.
you. We'll see you later.
See you,
man.
man.
Bye, Brad.
Talk to you
See
soon.
y'all.
Well, any thoughts, man? I'm ready to wrap this bitch up. But anybody want to share anything before we go?
Well, I think about the only thing there is to say is that the story has not been finalized on the Florida Joker yet. It is still being told, so we'll just have to wait and see where it goes.
Amen.
Jury is out. And same with Mr. Yu. Yoo-hoo.
Yes, to be continued.
I also wanted to say we were going to. I sort of lined up Brad to come on a couple of weeks ago. It was actually the show where we did the ghost ships, you, me, and Bear. So it kind of would have been good, but I had him lined up for there, and then it was sort of more for Ando because he's been hanging out to be on a show with Brad, and then Ando couldn't turn up, so it was like, oh, I can't do it to him again, so put him off. But he could have come both times, I guess, really. But it was
Ando was here
the,
for
the thought
a
was
bit.
here
Yeah.
for Ando. That was the thought.
Yeah.
And shout out to Bear for doing the mix on the intro outro new theme for WTF. Also shout out to Joe Tundra if you're listening, Joe. Praying for you for your knee operation. Hope that you're getting some good listens in. Because you're going to need a few hours worth of listening, your recovery, I'm sure. Shout out to Crystal. Thanks for joining us in the YouTube chat. It was really good to have you, and to everyone else who's there, Hypo Drake. And also, happy birthday to my mum.
Very happy
birthday.
birthday to Mom. Yes.
Yeah.
That
Play the end
sweet
bit.
nugget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is she listening?
No, but I just get to play the end bit, so that
There you go.
she doesn't have to listen
Awesome.
to 3.5 hours to get a shout out. 3.25.
Well, Drizzle, you got any final thoughts?
Nah, I think I'm just ready for this year to be done. See
Yeah.
what's in store for 2024. Or what did you call it? 2020 fro? I think I'm going to go with that from now on.
2020 Pro, bro.
It's good.
Yeah. Afro Man Fro President. Let's go. Ashley, anything to say?
Nope. I think I pretty much covered, whatever came to my mind, especially about Florida Joker. But I do think that was a very interesting topic, and appreciate you bringing it up because he is sort of this very interesting underdog-like character in today's day and time. So it's pretty neat.
Well, look, as usual, I have my moments while we're doing these shows where I'm like, I could see a theme, I could see a point in my brain before we started, and I'm trying to coalesce it. I'm trying to express it, and it's not always easy. But like I said, the Florida Joker, not the hero we asked for, but perhaps the hero we need. This is a man who, in a very dark and downtrodden place in his life, reinvented himself. Maybe not in the image you might like or that anyone might like, but it's in the image he liked. And he's making it work, and he seems like a decent guy. He never hurt nobody, you know? So I think it's worth noting. It's the classic cliche of don't judge a book by its cover. And, we all have the choice of who we want to be. What the fuck, At the very least, we can learn that from the Florida Joker. Be who you want. Fuck
Maybe
everybody.
we can get him on the ticket with Afro Man. He can be VP.
Dude, how kick-ass would that be if we could do a WTF with Afro Man and the Florida Joker?
Ask them both.
Yeah, why not?
It just might happen.
It
Shoot
might.
for the stars, man.
Can't miss. You're gonna hit a star somewhere. So might just take a while, a couple light years, but no, I like it. I think that's worth doing. So yeah, I'm glad that y'all appreciated it. It was kind of a silly one, nothing too serious going on here tonight, but pick your heroes carefully. Sometimes the anti-hero is the better hero.
Yes, and sometimes the hero is just a made-up character because they know that we need one at that stage. They're trying on different characters. That's
Well,
why it's
actually,
all
what I
this.
tend to recommend is be your own damn hero. fuck everybody else.
There's a hero inside all of us. That sounds
Yep.
like a Celine Dion segue, doesn't it?
Yes, or Mariah
Something like
Carey.
that.
Mariah Carey.
That's right.
Near, far,
Hey, it
wherever
would have been
you
Whitney
are.
Houston.
Oh,
Just
is that
saying.
Whitney Houston? Okay.
Yeah, that would have been Whitney. Yeah. Before she got all, crazy.
Drugged up.
Cracked
Yeah.
out. Sacrificed.
Well, the one Florida Joker video I didn't share was him beating his head against some drywall, singing about how he loves smoking meth. But that's not the hero we want or need.
I could do without that earworm and the eye
Yeah.
worm too, thanks. Can't unsee that stuff.
All right. Well, let's send it around. I know we kind of halfway did, but we'll do it quick. Mike the Polymath, Easy Peasy Podcast. If you want to find any of my shit, you can go to easypeasy.ittybitty.tips, and I will pass it to Stella Q.
Yeah, we had also Brad Binkley with us from the Propaganda Report. I'm Stella Q, along with Ashley from Union of the Unknowns, and generally here as well. Thanks to everyone who joined us and is listening. Ashley.
And anybody?
Where can we be found, Ashley?
Wow, Stella, I'm so glad that you asked. You can find us at unionoftheunknowns.com. That's our Linktree page with all the myriad ways to get in touch with us. And you can find me over on Twitter at Union Unknowns. So feel free to touch base with me over there. Would be happy to hear from you. And once again, thanks everyone for allowing me to be here. I really enjoy your company. Drizzle.
And you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am the Drizzle. You can find me on GTW Liberty Radio weekly, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern. And I do so enjoy my time here as well. So thank you guys for continuing to put up with me.
Our
We love you.
pleasure.
You're muted, Mike.
I am muted. Look at me. It's been a pleasure, y'all, as always. And this has been the WTF Forum with a brand new theme song. Thank you to Phytophiliac, Stella Q, Bear Snare, and I
And
will
Mike
take
the Polymath.
I'll take almost no credit. But we'll let this play us out.
Love you guys.
Love you guts.
Love ya.